It's Audio Synchronicity, live. With your hosts, Andres Perez.
Hello, people of the internet. This is Kaiju Noir here.
And Brayton Connor.
He was playing peekaboo with me with like a waffle or something. It was really weird.
And now, Kaiju Noir presents Audio Synchronicity, live.
Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to episode 3 of Audio Synchronicity. I am, of course, your host, Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir, and here with me is my faithful sidekick and co-pilot, Brayton Connor.
Hey, good Saturday evening, boys and girls.
And thank you very much, dude, for the for editing together that little intro. And a big shout out to Big Pimp Jones, led by my friend Keith Foster, for creating the original live track, which I believe is called Slip and Slide. Here's an image of Big Pimp Jones themselves, and you can check out the guy in the middle is none other than Keith Foster, the writer and creator behind the giant monster indie comic Kadoja. I'm putting up 2 images right there for you all to see. Looks like we got quite a collection of comments here. We have, let's see, Primal Graphenicosaurus Rex saying, hello, Kaiju Noir, how are you? I'm doing great, man. Let's see. A lot of people, we have Jared saying he's here, bitches. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. Yes, and show them its new things. And people are already bringing up the waffles from the last episode.
Hell yeah, waffles. Hashtag waffles. Can we get that trending? Somebody get that trending. Put that on a t-shirt.
In Shoma waffles, you blasted youthlings will never let that go. Alright, so how are you today, Brayton?
I am excellent, man. You know, I've been working on the new little intro, adding, you know, some extra touches to the amazing music.
Mm-hmm.
We've got ourselves an obnoxious narrator now to introduce the podcast, meaning that we're official. That obnoxious narrator being myself. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm awesome and I'm ready to go.
Okay, cool. So let's see now. I'm going to be sharing the podcast right now on the Facebooks. Let's see. Checking it out right now.
Now Facebooks is that one of those internets the kids are using these days? One of those web zones, one of those social media centers, one of those mingling hangouts that all the hip cats are into?
I believe so, although I could be wrong. Maybe maybe it's out of date at this point. I mean, I believe the hip term now is called MySpace or what's it called? AOL Instant Messenger, I believe that's what they're using nowadays.
Right. I set up my account there. You know, that's gonna take off. That's going places.
Oh,
AOL.
Yeah. We're gonna be the smart. We're gonna be the most popular people on AIM.
Right. And just to think, a year ago we were fax machining each other our messages. This is high tech shit, my friend.
Oh yeah, totally, man. This is the way of the future. This is what it's gonna be like on the information superhighway.
I'm not ready.
I don't think none of us are ready. But then again, who truly is ready?
Well,
anyways, go ahead.
That's a damn good question.
Let's see. Anyways, I also want to say thank you very much for the new and improved intro for Audio Synchronicity. I do want to say that it looks, it definitely looks very presentable. Almost looks like an action news broadcast sort of look to it.
I put the little soundboard back there in the background for the audio thing, and I wanted to emphasize the live portion of this, you know, setting us apart from all of those damned lame-o pre-recorded podcasts. We're here to fail in live and in living color, or not. We're live and in living audio, synchronized audio. Yeah.
Oh, boy. So let's see how the comments are looking right now. Let's see, we got some more pancakes comments. We got the Waffle Man begins. Let's see, something about Cyber Police. Oh boy, I hope the Cyber Police don't come here. You know,
we done goofed.
Oh no, the internet's police are here. What do we do?
You think the internet police is just like one guy He looks like Boogie. He's a heavy-set guy. He's like that guy that we watched the video of the other week. The fuck you little kids on the internet calling me fat.
Right, yeah. I imagine he's kind of like your typical fat security guard, like Chief Wiggum or something. He's just sitting around in his chair, surrounded by a bunch of screens. He's eating his donuts and drinking his coffee.
You can't be saying such stuff on the internet, sir.
Okay, triggering is serious as a federal crime offense. It's an internet crime offense. It serves as a bullet to a temporary ban on Twitter, but I don't have Twitter. Well, yeah. Don't go smart-mouthing me, boy.
Yeah.
I'm the internet police.
Man. The internet police man.
The internet policeman. He's kind of like the hall monitor who takes way too much pride in his job.
Yeah.
Ends up becoming a buzzkill for everybody.
Oh. But see, these are the benefits of doing one of these live, though. Anything could happen at any time. No holds barred. No damn internet policemen coming to stop us. No putting a halt on putting a safe space on our little excursions here. This is live. This is as real as it gets.
Right. This is the unsafe space.
Right. Very unsafe.
And we are the what was the thing from Rocky IV? We are the unsilent majority.
Yeah.
Big mouth.
Are we really? I don't know if we're a majority. I mean, we're two people,
we're not.
But
yeah,
the unsilent minority. Yeah.
I guess one of us is technically a minority. Although would Jews
I'm a
count,
minority.
Would Jews count as a minority?
I think so.
Okay. The thing
Trying to hog the term all to yourself.
It's always weird because I always saw like Judaism as like a religion, not a race, but apparently people see it as a race.
I don't know. I'm not gonna comment.
Oh, have we gone too far?
Yes.
Has it become unsafe for the unsafe space?
I know this is what I jinxed it. I doomed us with my little proposal there about this being an unsafe space. Now it's gotten out of hand, really.
Oh no. Anyways, let's see. Let's get things started, man. Let's see. Primal Graphenic Service Rex says, "So unsafe, their lasers will kill you." I don't think we have the budget to afford any lasers here.
But we do have safe rocket launchers.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Yes, with very, very, very safe paintballs. Paintballs for ammunition. Well, not so much paintballs, rather sponges. Yes, those will make the safest ammunition for safe rocket launchers.
So what we're saying is our podcast budget has really plummeted. We need money for lasers. All we've got are fucking sponges and some safe rocket launchers. So help us out. Donate to our Patreon if you want. Andre, start a Patreon.
Damn it. And speaking of Patreon, I have been interested actually in. I've been thinking about doing a Patreon for the. I know I've already got the Draco Azul comic book already being made, but I'm thinking for future issues of the Draco Azul comic whether or not to make a Patreon, similar to what Denny Roth did for having a Patreon account solely for his web comic Martial Star, and I'm very curious as to how indie comics handle their Patreons and what they do to provide something interesting for their Patreon backers. Anyways, let's see. Michael Jackson Helm says, "I love safe rocket launchers." Sean Berry says, "Good evening, amigos. Stopping by to say, keep that audio synchronized."
He's more excited about our podcast than we are, and Andres. This is.
And Joel Davis says, "I'm Internet Comment Rick." Morty, I turned myself into an Internet Comic. I'm Comment Rick. Oh boy! So I really wish we started the show at an earlier point where we could have talked about the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce debacle.
Yeah, that would have been fun fodder for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect story for this. But anyways, we got ourselves two different stories for today's episode of Audio Synchronicity. Would you like to go first, my good friend?
I will go first. I think mine's it's pretty much the most straightforward one, I guess. As you may have remembered last week, I brought forth a very interesting I don't know if a very strange and unusual, weird news topic, and I've got another one here for you from NBC.com. NBC. I don't know what. There's some more letters there. I can't read. I'm illiterate. Anyway, it's titled "Man Tries to Sneak into Spain Disguised as a Car Seat." Now, Andres.
My God.
As someone who has much experience sneaking across borders, have you? What are the strangest disguises you've hidden yourself in?
Let's see. Well, I try to disguise myself as a normal individual.
That's never gonna work.
Yeah, I know. Trying to pass myself as like a contributing member to society. Trying to pass myself as a sane individual. And let's see, as someone who has probably never heard of Godzilla before in their lives.
Man, you gotta get yourself into gear, my friend. You're running behind.
Yeah, I got my work cut out for me when it comes to crossing international borders.
Yeah.
So
well, this man skillfully attempted to conceal himself inside of a car seat, and he was busted trying to sneak into Spain illegally last week. The Daily Mail reported. The 20-year-old immigrant from the West African country of Guinea reportedly went to great lengths to hide from Border Patrol at the Beni Enzar, like Benny Hill, kind of. Beni Enzar crossing between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of, oh my God, Andres. Why do you guys create such complicated words? Anyway,
I didn't invent the language, okay? The people, the Europeans who came to my ancestors' country were the ones that invented it. They simply forced my people to learn it.
Well, I guess so. Anyway, he and two other Moroccan men. That's a nice. That should be a boy band too, the Moroccan men.
like Menudo or New Kids on the Block or Mana.
Yeah. Well, they appeared with him to have. Well, they appeared to have pulled apart the car's passenger seat cushioning, leaving only the metal frame. The Mail reported. The man then slid in behind the caging, and one of his co-smugglers sat on top of him. The paper. I don't know if I'd ever want to sneak into a place that bad where I'd want somebody to sit on top of me. That's. I don't know.
Maybe he should have had if he was going to disguise himself as a fake seed, maybe he should have had a fake person sitting on top of him.
Right, that would make him inconspicuous.
Well, like one of those weird, those real dolls, those sex dolls or something.
Oh, Andres, don't bring your weird hobbies into this. Even police who detained the trio had to hand it to them, calling their efforts to get by undetected unique and innovative. The two Moroccans were arrested for people smuggling. The man in a car seat was disguised, was detained, brought before a judge, and kicked out of this place, according to the Mail. Wow, all that work.
So they were trying to get into Spain via car?
Yeah, I guess.
They were trying to pass some sort of road or border. I wonder what he did to screw it up. If they were able to get from Africa all the way to Spain, what happened to screw that all up? Did he just sneezed? It was achoo! Gesundheit. Wait a minute.
This is something straight out of an 80s family comedy, isn't it? They get pulled over, everything's going fine. They're about to get through, and then
have
a sneezing car seat.
Or have a good day. Thank you, sir. Wait, what?
Yes.
Wait a
Who
minute.
said that?
And then imagine he screws up. It's whoo! And then as the cop was walking away, the guy goes, "Whoo! I didn't think we were gonna pull a fast one over him." Yeah, and
then in slow motion, he turns around. Who said that?
He's that was me. I suffer multiple personality disorders. Yeah. You should listen to him. He knows what he's saying. Yeah. See, my other personality agrees with me.
You know what this kind of reminds me of those prank videos, the drive-through pranks, where the guy would hide behind a driver's seat.
Right, and there would be no driver, and or you put a skeleton or a robot or a headless person.
This is what they should have done.
Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, just had the skeleton right there. He's oh, it's been taking me so long, I just shriveled up into bones.
Well, see, because then they'll be so focused on the skeleton, they won't notice the guy hiding under the car seat.
Yeah, you
see,
see, they'll confiscate or compensate. Confiscate.
Confiscate.
Yes, thank you. They'll confiscate the skeleton, thinking he's an illegal immigrant. Little did they know it was the real immigrant was behind him the whole time.
Damn it, skeletons! See, they don't have any pockets to carry their paperwork or their passport in. That's the problem.
Exactly. That's why we don't see any living skeletons in America, because that's sadly the way things work.
Isn't a living skeleton kind of an oxymoron? Well, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was my piece of weird world news. Man trying to sneak across to Spain disguised as a car seat, you know.
Maybe he should have done a car seat prank just to like make the policeman laugh so hard that he forgot what he was trying to do and give them a pass.
Did you ever hear Gabriel Iglesias's bit about when he got pulled over and he had a box of donuts and he made the cop laugh and he was able to get away without a ticket or whatever?
Yeah.
That's what should have happened.
Yeah, he said. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? He shows him his box of donuts because you can smell them.
Yeah.
Or like that other time Gabriel Iglesias tried to pull a prank on a cop by sneaking into the back seat. Because he was like, oh shit, I'm drunk. What am I supposed to do? I got it. I'll go in the backseat. I know I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm just gonna fuck with the policeman. So he gets in the back, and the policeman's like, where'd he go? He's like, what? Me? I wasn't driving. The guy took off. Are you sure you weren't driving, sir? Me? No, I'm fucking drunk, man.
Then again, we could be or we could be overestimating Spanish police and their sense of humor. I don't know how they differ from, ours.
Probably, yes. I do know the Spanish are often like portrayed as being the more passionate of the bunch. Although I'm not sure how that translates to comedy, so that leaves my statement to be rather pointless.
Audio Synchronicity, a very pointless podcast.
Let's see, we have Joel Davis saying, I'm car seat Rick, Morty! I turned myself in a car seat! Singing to Spain, Morty! Sean Berry says the life of a skeleton is sad and dead inside.
Yeah.
Let's see, then Shoma says living skeletons is the real reason Ray Harryhausen moved his movie marketing job to Europe.
Oh, that makes sense. Now, if you tried to pull this shit in Japan, Andres, how would that bode for you?
I'm sure I would like freak out the policeman, because the funny thing is there's an interesting video up on Facebook. You can just put like Japanese policeman, and I'm sure on Facebook, and I'm sure you'll find it in the search results, where Japanese policemen, they literally do like jack shit because there's like no crime going on. So whenever something does happen, they put like 200% into it. Like, finally something for me to do. Like, for instance, there was one point where in the video where there was a car with like an open unlocked car with like no roof, and there were like 10 police officers all like crowding around that empty car, guarding it, making sure that the belongings in that car doesn't get stolen.
Yeah, I think you've shown me this. So would this bode well for the people trying to sneak in then, or I guess not?
No, because it's like it's like the one thing where they find out criminal scum. It's like, it's car seat people like you that are the reason why I joined the force.
You filthy criminals.
It's like, I waited my entire life for this one moment. And now I can do my job for once.
So yeah, there's a...
and Shoma says that explains everything about Corn Job.
Man, it really does. That puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely, man.
You had one job, corn job, a corn job.
And Primal Graphenic Source Rex says, wow, the easiest job in the world. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because, there's very low crime in Japan. There's, like, a zero-tolerance gun law. There are very strict gun laws. No one is allowed to have a weapon. No one is allowed to have drugs. If you have a gun or drugs, that's, like, a much higher criminal offense than it would be in America. And what's even crazier is that the women are allowed to wear like the same type of uniforms as men, but female police officers, they can also wear skirts and high heels. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait. The important question is, can the men wear skirts and high heels, Andres?
That's a very good question, man. That's a very good question indeed. I wouldn't know that. I should ask them, but I'm sure it would not bode well for the male individuals in question.
Do an on-the-street interview, Andres. Ask them the important questions.
Listen, sir, random foreigner here. Are you allowed to wear high heels? And
The
a
world
skirt?
wants to know!
Imagine this person, he does secretly wear the cop I happen to talk to. He just so happens to be the one cop in Japan who does secretly who wears
God.
skirts and sandals, but only in secret.
Yeah, see, now you've outed him.
Yeah, and so he's like, nandaro. He's trying to see, like, so he's just stammering about. He's like, oh shit, they found me. He's like from Doc Brown. He's like, oh god, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty! Let's see. Michael Jackson Helm says, criminals are getting pretty creative if they're using car seats to sneak into other countries. And then Sean Berry says, female Japanese police officers got to retain their beauty. Just ask Gorizard. Gorizard retains his beauty? He has beauty?
Know. Yeah, that would imply he had beauty to begin with.
Does he wear skirts and high heels as a Japanese police officer?
I wouldn't put it past him. I believe it.
Meanwhile, he's like, I sense a disturbance in the force somewhere, like somewhere he can tell we're shitting on him. But anyways, great story, man. Hopefully this person will find another means of getting into Spain.
I hope so. This is a real hero story right here. I hope he disguises himself next time as like a, I don't know,
a refrigerator.
People in the comments, come up with different objects, inanimate objects he could disguise himself as next time in order to sneak across the border successfully.
Absolutely.
That'll be fun.
So let's see. So moving on to the next story, what I have here might be somewhat racially charged, but it's kind of so bizarre and something very closely connected to my hometown of San Diego. Now, in San Diego, there is a neighborhood called Barrio Logan, and Barrio Logan is this big, giant Mexican-American Chicano community where they celebrate, strong Mexican-American culture, and there's also other people of different nationalities also living in this area that all contribute to Barrio Logan and Chicano Park. I guess what gave Barrio Logan its big reputation was at some point in I want to say it was the 60s. It was announced, it was sometime in the 60s where they were planning on taking down this neighborhood in order to build some giant corporation towers, and the Mexican-American community weren't going to have any of that, so there were a lot of strong protests that trying to prevent the destruction of their community instead and turning into a place of business. And so luckily they succeeded, and they were able to turn this that whole area into a giant community center or a giant place to take pride in. So what we have here is we have an individual, typical rich white woman who wants to create this what she calls a modern fruteria. For those who don't know, it's like a pizzeria but with fruit. And so she's someone who spends a lot of money traveling all over the world, and she's like, oh my god, I like these Mexicano foods, and I want to open up my own Mexicano restaurant, fruit restaurant in the middle of this quaint little community. So she has this Kickstarter to open up this fruteria called La Gracia, which translates to the thank you. I'm not sure. Anyone who speaks better Spanish than me, is La Gracia grammatically correct? The thanks, or the thankful, the thank you, or I don't know. So let's see. This is brought to us by Me Too. I'm not sure if that's a pun or not. Most we are metoo.com.
Oh Lord.
Let's see. Jenny Niezgoda clearly didn't do her homework. The travel blogger and self-proclaimed barefoot bohemian. I guess she's a blogger.
Hold on, that's a pro wrestler name. That's not human. The barefoot bohemian.
What is bohemian, by the way? I know Bohemian Rhapsody, but I don't know what bohemian actually is.
Oh, I hold on. I'm gonna Google it. This is gonna be great entertainment. Hold on.
Okay.
A brief pause to look up the definition of bohemian.
All right.
Okay.
I'll check out the comments in the meanwhile.
Here's a great. Here you go. Right, it pops right up. A native or inhabitant of Bohemia. Who would have
Wow.
thought? Oh, but wait, there's a second definition now.
Oh.
A person who has informal and unconventional social habits, especially an artist or writer. So I'm assuming it's the latter in this case.
All right then. Let's see. Going back to this article, the Barefoot Bohemian. I guess she was an Instagram person. I guess she's a blogger and some Instagram person, maybe. But she released a now canceled Kickstarter campaign and accompanying video for her next passion project, a plant-based cocina and modern fruiteria she was calling La Gracia. And she would be opening this business in the center of Barrio Logan, a historically Mexican-American and Chicano neighborhood in San Diego with a long history of grassroots activism and fighting gentrification. Now, luckily, South Park helped me out on what gentrification is, and I guess from what I understand, it's like big businesses trying to push out poor middle-class to low-class people, pushing them out of their homes in order to build large corporate businesses where they used to live.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of like what I mentioned before. They want to tear down Barrio Logan, and it eventually became, well known for fighting against that. The backlash was almost instant, with community members and activists, along with a large chunk of the internet, calling this yet another signifier of gentrification in their community by a woman seen as the poster child for cultural appropriation. La Gracia is now being called La Desgracia. The disgrace.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever.
Let's see. Nias Goda has all the markings of an Instagram influencer, branding herself as a gypsy soul and chic nomad, and a pure reflection of her world. While posting photos that are a product of someone with a clear savviness for marketing, she bears a resemblance to actress Blake Lively, appears to love a good flower crown, and waxes about how life is good in Mexico in her blog. In the video, she struts effortlessly through the neighborhood in an off-the-shoulder pose. In an off-the-shoulder top, posing in front of murals of Frida Kahlo and Cesar Chavez, while Latin-sounding guitar plays in the background. She turns.
Now this woman isn't Hispanic at all, right?
No, she's not Hispanic at all. And like I mentioned, there are people. The reason why people, were against this is not because she's simply a white person, but she's just someone from the outside with no understanding of like the true heart of Mexican American culture, trying to like make money off of it, essentially.
Oh. Yeah.
Without like at least giving back to the community, which like what a lot of other people do. I guess apparently there's also like people of different races who also contribute to Barrio Logan. This like graffiti artists and people who make restaurants and shops and all that stuff. Basically, they give back to the community and have an understanding of the community and want to be a part of it, as opposed to just profiting off of it, like what this person apparently wanted to do. Let's see. Between poses, Nias Goda explains that she's spent the last couple of years traveling the world in search of the most vibrant, history-rich, artistic, and food-centric neighborhood, but it was Mexico that stole her heart. And then I found it here in San Diego, she announced excitedly. Nias Goda goes on to explain that a fruiteria is a Mexican-inspired juice bar. However, La Gracia will be so much more. In fact, it will be an integral thread in this community's fabric. In the end, she proudly shouts that she is bringing a healthy option to the barrio. That's kind of like a slap in the face to all the people who have like their own restaurants and eateries there.
Yeah.
And she also called Barrio Logan like an up-and-coming neighborhood or an up-and-coming community, as if it wasn't already, making it sound like it's. I'm sure she didn't.
Now that she's there, it's up and coming.
Yes, no. Now that she's there, now it's more modern and hip and relevant.
Right, because it's white.
Remember, if it's all white, it's all right. Of course, I'm kidding here, people. We are not.
Wait, so what is the Mexican term, or that the term for that version of it? It's kind of like a weeaboo, is it not?
Someone who wants to be a Mexican?
Well, this woman.
I don't know. I mean, most people would just call her a stupid gringo and be done
There
with
you
that.
go. Yeah, let's settle for that then. That's a great term.
Let's see. In the end,
I prefer that term other than Instagram influencer.
Let's see, and this is just the video, which many didn't believe was actually real. The Kickstarter page has also has caused outrage over its tone-deaf phrasing and what some call a white savior attitude. And I do want to make this clear, where I know on the internet it's very easy for people to get offended, and usually in many cases you have people getting offended on other races' behalf. However, this is a clear thing of like Mexicans getting pissed at this, Mexican Americans getting pissed off at this Mexican American related problem. Not just Mexican Americans, but like people within the community who are pissed off at this, not like other people getting pissed off at other people's behalf. Let's see. In her quest to create an urban sanctuary.
She is the most self-righteous person on the planet. That's how she's coming across to me.
Right. She's going to make Barrio Logan great again.
You're damn right, by God.
She's finally going to make it the modern, hip, savvy place it always needed to be.
Right.
In her quest to create an urban sanctuary and a business of her very own, Nies Goda has enraged a community that is fervently protective of its identity and has fought tooth and nail for decades to preserve itself from outside influence. Barrio Logan has a long history of activism and grassroots organizing. It's one of the epicenters for the Chicano movement, with Chicano Park, located just down the street from where La Gracia hopes to open its doors, earning the designation as a cultural landmark in the National Register of Historic Places. For those who don't know, the term Chicano refers to Mexicans. Originally, Chicano is kind of like what happens when you take Mexico, take out the M-E, and you're left with Chico, Chicano, Mexicano. No, take Mexicano, take out M-E, and you're left with Chicano, because sometimes the XI can be pronounced as chi or ki in certain languages. And Chicano was always was used as like a derogatory term against Mexicans, Americans during like the 50s, I believe, the 40s and 50s. It's kind of like Chicano was at one point like the Mexican N-word. And eventually unlike the N-word, the Mexican Americans of America, they took that phrase Chicano and turned it upside down and became a political term. Like if you're a Chicano, that usually applies to Mexican American social activists.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we kind of turned this negative name and turned it into a positive name, like a symbol of like pride and strong-willed pride in your background, in your heritage.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
why, good for them.
Yeah. So that's why Chicano has none of the almost none of the repercussion. Not repercussion. It doesn't have like the negative stigma as like the N-word.
Wait, so nowadays. I can call you a Chicano then?
Yes, you
Is
can.
Is it okay for me? Oh, okay. Wow.
What up, my Chicano? My Chicano. Although, like I said, Chicanos usually refer to like something like political related, which I am certainly not at all.
Well, you are a revolutionary, Andres.
Really, the Mexican the whitewashed Mexican is a revolutionary for Mexican American heritage.
Everywhere, yes.
Yes, always.
Always. To quote the great Orson Welles, the great Mexican Orson Welles.
Let's see. Further in the article, people who know its history know its resistance, says Irma Patrick Aguayo, a Chicano Park muralist and longtime activist. For someone who comes in thinking they're going to save something they're not a part of is offensive. The way she's representing her business, I feel colonized once again. I think I might be going a little too far, but I can understand the resentments. In the last few years, as residents have built businesses that the hipster demographic, cool coffee shops, art galleries, tattoo shops, a craft brewery serving culturally inspired beer, and taco shops covered in bright Chicano artwork, to name a few, they've seen the city and developers take notice. It's resulted in new developments, one of which is a building that houses La Gracia, increased rent, and an influx of newcomers that don't fit the long-standing ethnic makeup of the community, which is to say, white people. White people are coming, and the incredibly protective community is not happy with what that means. Niasgoda and La Gracia are certainly not the first sign of gentrification in Barrio Logan, and surely not to be the last, but it has sparked the outrage and hell no attitude that bubbles constantly in the neighborhood by those that fear that Barrio Logan will be lost, though not without a fight. She didn't start this, says Antonio Ley, owner of Corazon de Torta food truck, run out of Logan Heights. Down the street, there's $13 hot dogs sold out of a lowrider. She just made the dumbest video ever. It's the most racially divisive business that's hit Barrio Logan because she made it completely white. She was here to take what we made and try to run with it. Let's see, for someone to come in out of nowhere and present herself in such a way as to be a savior was at best clueless and at worst completely disrespectful to the entire community and culture that has fought and struggled to survive in the face of great odds, says Brent Beltran, vice chair of the Barrio Logan Community Planning Group, though he does not speak on behalf of the group. He adds, "For me, the part that stands out the worst beyond trying to appropriate our culinary culture is the blatant willingness to gentrify this community." One of her responses to being called out was to claim that her business would help increase property value for homeowners. If she had done her due diligence, she would have realized that Barrio Logan is a community of renters. If property values rise, then the current working class residents will get pushed out. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, if the property value goes up, the rent gets higher, and if the rent gets higher, the people can't live there anymore. There's a lot of history, too much to get into here, but a Google search and talking to business owners and community members would have been beneficial to Niasgoda. However, she doesn't appear to have done much of the latter, and from what a handful of business owners tell us. In her Kickstarter, she says she spent months getting to know the neighbors and surrounding myself with a team of people who know their SHIT. It's censored here.
Okay. I was going to say, Andres, come on. Pulling punches at this point?
But only one person out of the dozen interviewed for the story says she spoke to them about La Gracia. "She was a sweet girl," adds Ley, who says she only mentioned her business but never asked for input. "She told me about this months ago, and I thought, damn, that sounds expensive, and not for the neighbors that already live here. But I didn't want to burst her bubble or tell her she's culturally appropriating. I thought, it's fruit. People can do what they want with it. But if I saw that video, I would have told her it was offensive." If she doesn't take the time to get to know the neighbors, her fellow business owners, the history of the neighborhood, the history of Chicano Park, and the local organizations, then she doesn't understand the fabric of the neighborhood, says Ophelia Andrade Beltran, a nurse and activist who is a member of the Barrio Logan Community Planning Group. She can't assume the role of being part of the neighborhood's fabric. It's not for her to define, it's for the neighborhood to define. The video and some of Niasgoda's other online posts is what the Barrio Logan community has to go off of when understanding who she is, and, to put in words many of them have used, what the hell she was thinking. And then
Sacrilege is what she was thinking.
And the rest of the article is like a point-by-point explanation of the video itself. So, yeah, I guess if you guys were to search up like La Gracia Fruteria Barrio Logan, I'm sure you're sure to come across it. But yeah, the video, after much backlash, she didn't try to respond to any of it. She didn't try to defend herself. She didn't try to explain herself or even apologize for that matter. Rather, she just like hightailed it out of there. She just called it quits and decided to leave without listening to anyone, I guess. Maybe she just got scared. She just got scared of the scary ethnic people and decided that it was too intense for her.
Yeah. Oh well. May her aspirations of bringing a sense of community back to the community or whatever the fuck. May they forever be not respected. I don't know.
I guess in some crazy way, it's like she helped the community remind themselves of what they need to do to preserve their culture.
Oh,
So,
there you go. She was a blessed eyes.
exactly, a blessing in disguise. She helped the community get stronger and realize what the purpose of Barrio Loken is there for.
Not disguised as a car seat, but as a bitchy white woman. So there you go.
Right, a bitchy rich white woman. By the way, that's another thing people have commented on. Like, if she's so rich and has been traveling the world for years, which is very expensive, why didn't she pay for this herself and instead asked for the community to pay for, essentially ask the community to pay for her own business?
Because gringos be crazy, you know what I mean?
I guess so. I'm sure you would know as a fellow gringo yourself, right?
Hey, what is that supposed to mean? You don't know me. You don't know my... Well, okay. Yeah.
You don't know my heritage.
You don't know my heritage.
as a Jewish Canadian.
Yeah, I'm all. My genes are already messed up. You don't know me. You don't know what's in there.
You know what's been done in there.
Ooh, I don't want to know what's been done in there anyway.
Let's see. Looking at the comments, let's see. Conga says, "Wow, she is just stupid." Sean Barry said, "Spaniard boo." I don't understand, Sean. Sorry.
We were talking. I mentioned weeaboo. What would be the name for that?
Oh, Spaniard boo. Okay. Spainaboo.
Spainaboo. Oh, there you go.
Let's see. People getting Amanda1771 says people getting offended on the internet. Never heard that before, sarcastically speaking. Let's see. Jared Cheek says every time you say Mario Logan, I immediately think of SML. I said Barrio Logan, not Mario Logan, Jared. Sorry about the confusion. Let's see. Conga says I love Mexican food, but man, I am not going to do what this woman did. Sean,
no, it's pretty idiotic. Like I love fucking ice cream. I'm not gonna set up an ice cream shop on the side of the street and become an ice cream driver, truck driver.
You know what? I love Chinese food, but I'm not gonna open my own Chinese restaurant.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's not. You should open your own Chinese restaurant.
I wonder how good that'll do.
I don't know. Just say you're trying to bring a sense of community back to China.
China. I'm gonna go to Chinatown in San Francisco. I'm gonna open up my own Chinese restaurant there. I'm gonna. There you go.
That's how you get the.
I'm gonna make Chinatown great again.
That's how you get the Andres per revolution going, Andres. That's what you got to do.
I love that you and Sean made that up. Let's see. People are talking about movies.
What a ridiculous notion. How dare they?
And show them Whitey McWhite Pants. Let's see. Sean Barry says this woman's business plan is about as disgusting as David Duke claiming white supremacy is A-okay. Let's see. All right, then. So yeah, that was a thing. That was a crazy thing that happened in my hometown, and I thought that was quite interesting, quite a spectacle that blew up in her face.
I'm just glad you read that article because I would have messed up so many times on a lot of those words and names. So
I'm sure I did as well. Conga says, have the American anthem music play in the background. I should do that in my Chinese restaurant.
Oh my God, yes.
Say, can't you see?
Your Chinese restaurant should be, nationality inclusive. There should be, the American national anthem playing. You should have everybody, all the waiters should be wearing berets or fezzes. Cater to every demographic.
And you know what? I'm sure Chinese restaurants, they'd be too scary for hipsters to enjoy. So I'm gonna make mine more inclusive and have all the rich white kids come over to my Chinese restaurant.
That sounds like a plan, man. You're gonna have success.
We need more, rich people to come in and raise the property values and make China.
Yeah. You know what? I'm tired of Chinese people coming over and taking away our Chinese restaurant jobs.
This is the true revolution at work here, folks. The true true idiocy that is the Perevolution.
Audio synchra idiocy. This is what this is now.
Indeed. So anyways, we are about 45 minutes in, so I think we have a chance to start things off, start off the Q&A section a bit earlier than usual. We tried getting a guest for this section of the review, but unfortunately it seemed like the friends we had in mind were a bit busy at the moment. But I'm going to check one more time to see if our friend is available. Though probably not. He may be ready in about 15 minutes, but I'll just check right now.
He's a real prima donna. He's got to get ready. He's got to get his makeup on for a podcast. Who would have thought? Jeez.
Let's see. If you'd like, you can check out the review the comments and see if there are any worth pointing out.
Oh, sure. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see what you people are up to. Talking about Justice League. I've seen it. That's a movie that happened.
Oh yeah, how was that? I think it was a friend of mine who, it was Inshoma who wanted me to ask you what you think. No, it wasn't that. It was Suicide Squad, I think.
Suicide Squad? I liked Suicide Squad. I don't know how I feel about Justice League. I don't know how it was. I legitimately don't like. You know how Batman v Superman had like the cool scene with like Batman beating up like the whole warehouse of people.
Yeah.
This isn't really a spoiler. Everybody knows Superman's coming back in this one.
Right,
but there's a scene
after the reports of his digitally removed mustache.
Oh, that's so weird. But anyway, the first scene where they resurrect him, he has this awesome like brief little fight with all the members of the Justice League, and it's awesome. But then the climax of the movie is embarrassing. It's just so it's a computer video game. It's a cutscene. It's ridiculous. And it's tonally strange. Mm-hmm. The lip is kind of weird and off-putting. Like I watched a little bit of Red Letter Media's Half in the Bag episode on Justice League.
Yeah.
And apparently Henry Cavill couldn't shave his mustache because he had another role for the reshoots. But wouldn't it have been easier to just shave the mustache and wear a fake mustache and then having to spend $1 million to CGI his upper lip?
It would have been so much easier. Like it would save so much money. And it would have
I don't know. I would
like getting a makeup artist to do like a practical mustache than to do.
Yeah, it's a real Cesar Romero situation, isn't it? It's like I'm not shaving my mustache for this shit.
I never thought we'd get a modern day Cesar Romero.
I'm glad. Well, he certainly fits in this movie, and I'm glad that we got one in Henry Cavill.
All right. Well, it looks like our backup guest won't make it either.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Let's see. Inshoma says, in rejection to guest stars, I was rejected because Andres said that Inshoma is redundant, but I will return with a furious vengeance like Lon Chaney Jr. hatefully fighting alligators.
Yes, I know what he's referencing. God damn those alligators.
Let's see. Hey, Crooked Lore. He comes in with the first question. Who would win in a fight? Yes or yes?
Always would win that fight.
Yeah. That is the correct answer. Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon. I don't get why so many people are making a deal out of the mustache thing.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Oh
It's his upper lip. I can't look anywhere but at it. It's like
it's all fuzzy and stuff.
It's like Joaquin Phoenix. I can't look at anything but his upper lip. It's distracting.
I guess like it's one of those things where once you know about it, then it becomes distracting.
Yeah, probably.
And Shoma, I'll get you, alligator Andres. Let's see. Question: what are your thoughts on the rebuild films? I like them. Moving on, let's see.
Oh, well, hold on. Speaking of a thing that happened, a movie that you saw, Andres, how was the thing? You know?
Well, The Thing happens to be my favorite horror movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good, isn't it? I love the part where fucking Wilford Brimley goes crazy. Unless you're talking about the original thing, in which I love the scene where they just set him on fire and he runs out the window. That's kind of funny.
Well,
but what did you think of the fucking anime?
The anime? Well, I like anime, especially giant robot anime. You know.
I love the anime version of The Thing. That's amazing.
Yes,
I'm talking about the you know, with the plant. How was the plant anime that you saw? Could you do it? Could you do the plant?
Let's see. Well, that's the thing here. Well, not. I guess it's the only spoiler I'll give, and that is, well, it's not really a spoiler if you're talking about something that doesn't happen in the movie, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, we never get into Godzilla's origin here. So we don't know why he looks like this.
That's a bit strange.
Yeah. However, he is neither plant nor animal. They specifically said that.
Is he mineral? Is this like 20 fucking questions? What?
Maybe he's both. Maybe he's neither. Maybe he's something very, very, very new.
Maybe he doesn't like to be pigeonholed into our species expectations that we have. Maybe that's it.
Possibly. Let's see. Before everybody, I know we got a lot of questions coming in. Thank you very much, everybody, for that. And let me just answer Sean Barry's question since he gave me his questions in advance. Let's see. Going into things. Let's see. Bringing up his questions here. He got sent 3 questions. Number 1, what, in your opinion, is the last truly great decade for the movies? Personally, I'd say the 1980s. I would like to say from a special effects perspective, perhaps the 90s, because it was during this age where CGI was brand new, but it wasn't as overused as it is now. So we got ourselves like a really nice blend of like CG and practical effects, where CG was only utilized when it was absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
I did love the originality that came out of the 80s, and I've always been a fan of that. I guess it's a toss-up between the 80s and the 90s. As much as I love the technical aspects of the 90s, maybe the 80s in terms of the creativity in that decade.
Yeah, I would agree. The 2000s is oof. Things have kind of gone. It's kind of been a slippery slope since 2000. But yeah.
Let's see.
1912 was the
1910s
first year of the movies. Was the best year of the movies.
Like
when they started putting those sound in those pictures, that's when it went downhill.
That was the slippery slope where the technology took over the art.
Thomas Edison is rolling in his grave.
Let's see. Question 2. Is there hope for the final Evangelion film, or will crayons just dominate Anno's mind? To be honest, it's really difficult to predict what the fuck Hideaki Anno is going to do with the last Eva movie. I mean, hopefully all that episode of depression he went through during the making of the 3rd movie has subsided, and maybe we'll get a really nice, cool, action-packed finale that will resolve everything, or if it's just going to be another fuck you ending where everybody dies again. Who knows? With you not being an Evangelion fan, what do you think Anno will do?
I don't know. I'm not predicting what Anno will do with anything. I don't know. I'm not even an Anno fan.
Yeah. I really hope at most I want to have another Evangelion 2.0 where he kind of returned to that action pack, over the top, spiritually uplifting like sentiment that he had in the 80s anime he worked on, Gunbuster. I want another Gunbuster or Eva 2.0, but then again, that's just me being a fan of super robot anime. Let's see. But my hopes is pretty low that we'll get that. In fact, like, Evangelion 3.0 was kind of like a middle finger to those who liked 2.0, I think. But I still like 3.0. Let's see. His last question. Who are some of your favorite sympathetic movie antagonists? Example, Roy Batty from Blade Runner. I do like Koba from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Let's see. Magneto. He's a great villain, I think. Let's see. Who else? Do you have any, Brayton?
Mm-hmm. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Who I felt sorry for in film.
Char Aznavour from Mobile Suit Gundam, where he was this person who was separated from his family. His father was betrayed and killed, and so he sneaks up the ranks of the enemy team just to take it over completely and wipe out the people in charge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Char Aznavour is definitely a very, very popular and famous sympathetic protagonist. I think in Japan, in terms of like the original Gundam series, Char is much more popular than the main character Amuro Ray. But yeah, I would definitely probably go with Char. Yeah. Let's see. All right then, so I guess we'll move on if that's okay.
Yes. Move on. Always. Always move on.
Let's see. Sorry, just responding to a Facebook question here.
Hold on, I'll play the Andres responding to a Facebook question theme song. There you go. Oh, damn it, he's still going. Okay, then.
Okay.
Please, God, tell me you're done.
I'm done.
I don't have any more wind left to blow into this harmonica.
Blow, Brayton, blow.
Blow! Jeez, Andres, later, come on.
All right, now let's go through the questions past Crooked Lore's questions. Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex. Oh yeah, if you can, please, it's just to make it easier for me to read the questions. Can you put, before you put your question, just type in question in capital letters, everybody. Let's see. Question: what's your thoughts on the Oh yeah, I wrote a question. Answer that already. Question: Mutos versus Skullcrawlers. Which one do you like in terms of design? I think the Mutos, perhaps. Personality, abilities, overall threat level to both humans and monster characters. Yeah, I think I like the Mutos better. You?
Yeah, I prefer the Mutos as well. I like the red and the black sort of
ooh, yeah,
coloring. Where I think the Skullcrawlers are just kind of, I don't know, from a design standpoint, bland.
Yeah, I mean they're serviceable, but I don't know, they're not as original, I think.
No, and I'm talking more like the lack of color in their design. Yeah, and they just seem sort of generic, reptilian-esque designs that. Yeah. Where the Mutos,
We have no idea what the hell they are.
No, I don't know what they are. They're just angular shapes with mouths.
Yeah. Let's see. Question: what's your thoughts on Gundam Versus, which is the PS4 installment of the latest in line of the Gundam vs. Gundam series, or Gundam Versus series? I love the game, but I hate how they've left out... I hate the bizarre choices of Gundams they placed in. Like, they put a lot of emphasis on obscure... They put in, like, a lot of emphasis on obscure mangas and novels and stuff, while completely skipping over certain major TV show installments of the franchise, especially G Gundam. Why in the hell are there no G Gundam characters in Gundam Versus? They have released a lot of DLC for the Japanese PlayStation Network store. I don't know if they've already added any of the G Gundam characters, but I certainly hope so. They will. I hope they do in eventually. But yeah, it's kind of weird they would skip over Gundam, G Gundam, Gundam Age, and yet they'll include this random Gundam from a novel manga spin-off of a OVA. But let's see, anyways. But yeah, overall the game is good. And I do like that it does not go the route that a lot of games are going nowadays, where in order to unlock certain costumes and extra goodies, you have to do so through a random loot box. I'm not sure if you've seen that, Brayton, where a lot of games nowadays, rather than unlocking shit, when you level up, you get a random box, and then you can open up that box to get the chance at winning some cool prize. Or you can
sounds a lot like Loot Crate, Loot Box. I don't know.
Yeah, Loot Crate. Sorry, that's Loot Box, Loot Crate, a Reward Box. I don't know, anything like that. It's kind of like what mobile phone games are like, where you can get a chance to possibly win a prize, or you can spend real money and get more of these bot loot crates or loot boxes.
Now that's cheap. That's just not right. That's like the whole deal. I have a problem with DLC. I'm not even a gamer, and I have a problem with DLCs. That's just
At least with DLC, you know for sure, for a fact, you're gonna get what you want.
Yeah.
With this, it's like you're potentially paying, or you're working your ass off, leveling up your character to get the chance to unlock something. Yeah. Meanwhile, with Gundam Versus, when you level up your character, you get the chance to purchase with that character, purchase that reward through in-game currency.
That's like buying a lottery ticket for the chance to get your ticket into the lottery.
I guess so. So you unlock your character, and then once you reach a certain level, then you're like, oh, here's a new... you unlocked a new pilot for that particular mobile suit you leveled up. But you have to go through like arcade mode to get enough like money, so then you can purchase the pilot you just unlocked. It's an extra step that kind of at least encourages you to play more of the game. But at least you get a strong chance of getting it, as opposed to having it be completely random. Let's see. Question from SpookyBones224. Love that name. Q&A. I have to do an art project. I have to do an diorama on a movie scene. What movies should I do?
Do a Mad Max diorama.
Ooh, that'd be cool. I was going to go with King Kong versus the T-Rex from the 33 film.
There you go. Well, cars are easier to do than a giant gorilla and a dinosaur.
Yeah. The cars would do. The cars would do. Yeah. Or you can do like Transformers, just buy the toys and you have like half the diorama already complete.
Yeah.
Or Godzilla, just buy an SH Figure Arts and build a diorama around that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crooked Lore Production says best and worst legacy characters in comics. By legacy characters, I guess I'm assuming he's talking about characters that take up the name and mantle of a previous character from before, because nowadays we've been seeing a lot of those from Marvel side. Maybe I want to say one of the best would be maybe Tim Drake, who was the third Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Worst? I know there's been a lot of controversy with the newer ones, with the newer characters, especially when it comes to how awful of a character America Chavez apparently is, but I never read the comics, so I can't really comment. She's like the new Miss America, I think. Let's see, who would be worse that I've seen personally? I don't want to call John Paul Valley like the 90s Batman. I don't want to call him the worst because he's meant to be a bad Batman. Well, I will say his costume does look very ridiculous and super 90s, but again, maybe that's the intention. See, have you ever seen 90s Batman? Or like
I have.
Okay, so with like the yellow and the spikes and all that ugliness.
Right.
Let's see. So I can't really give a worst for that, but for the best, I do like Tim Drake, especially from the Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, he's I think he would be my favorite Robin. Now, would Flashpoint Batman count as a legacy character? I don't know.
I guess
since
not.
It's Thomas Wayne. No,
probably not, because he didn't come after Bruce Wayne in that continuity.
That's true.
Rather, he was like the original OG Batman for that timeline.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you the worst legacy character is when that frickin' toaster took over for Kaiju Noir in the Kaiju Noir comic book universe. That was the worst.
There's a Kaiju Noir.
I've seen it. There's a Kaiju. We've talked about Kaiju Noir's universe, Andres. There is a Kaiju Noir universe. It's just very.
Oh yeah.
Questions need to be answered about it.
Right. The animated series, not the animated series, but the animated.
Oh wait, hold on. Don't get ahead of yourself. The animated series now.
No. It's like you're referring to like the continuity, the weird continuity within my recent reviews.
Yeah, well, for people out there, I've grilled Andres about the continuity of his videos because I wanted to know. I seriously wanted to know, and at a point, it just became comical. But I think he needs to have a continuity here. You don't fall into the trap that so many film series have, Andres. You got to have a continent. You got to have things tie together. It's like poetry; it rhymes. You got to have that.
Each stanza's got to rhyme with the last.
Yeah, Kaiju Noir is the key to all this. He's a funnier character than we've ever had before.
He's a funnier critic than we've had in the past.
Or would Crooked be your Jar? Well, I don't want to. That's mean. I was going to ask if Crooked would be your Jar Jar, since I guess that's the only other animated character.
Well,
there's also
Belle. Yeah, she's the Jar
Belle's
Jar.
your Jar Jar.
I'm sorry, Crooked. All right, let's see. A question: how long should a movie be? Since Justice League was cut to 2 hours because studio mandate. Definitely not over 2.5 hours.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like for something for an epic.
I meant to say like not over 2.5 hours.
Well, yeah, I can watch a 3-hour movie.
Okay.
Though if it's grand in scale and everything, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's visually interesting. Like I guess I don't have that much of an issue watching like the Watchmen movie, the 3-hour cut of the Watchmen movie.
Yeah. No, I could never make it through the Lord of the Rings movies because they're just so god awful, and I've never even attempted to watch the extended. What are they? The director extended versions of the. How long are they now? If the first one was that long,
it's like spending an entire day watching those movies, the extended cut, marathoning through the extended cuts. I remember a friend of mine from high school. He tried doing that, but he couldn't make it past the first. Like his movie watching group fell asleep after the first movie. Let's see.
Yeah, I fell asleep after about halfway through the first movie.
Let's see. DeMichael Jackson Helm says, "What is your opinion on the Rampage trailer?" I'll let you go first, dude.
I like Rambo. Well, first off,
Rambo. Like Rambo?
I like Rambo. Come on, it's assuming. But the only Rampage game I played was the GameCube version, which also had like I think the older games on there is like a special bonus thing.
Oh, yeah. That was the last game, actually. Rampage Total Destruction, which was actually made by Simon Strange himself.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was
well, at least that one got made. Anyway. But I don't have a dog in that fight. Why am I even saying these things? I don't know. But, and I like that, so, I don't know. I don't know how the movie kind of looks like generic crap, but on the other hand, I'm kind of excited to see it.
It's like it's generic crap with monsters.
I know that changes the game, Andres.
Yeah. Yes, always. Yeah. As a fan of Rampage, I played a little bit of the original arcade game, which is, to be honest, quite boring and not a fan of it. I have played the two Nintendo 64 games, Rampage World Tour and Rampage 2 Universal Tour. I love the really weird, wacky, over the top, crazy vibe of those games, even if the series was very incredibly repetitive. From a gameplay standpoint. Presentation-wise, I love the more cartoony wackiness from Rampage World Tour and onwards. I played a little bit of Rampage Time Warp on the PlayStation 1. I couldn't get really far because I never liked those mini-games they would add after every single city level. And finally, I played the Rampage Puzzle Attack for the Game Boy Advance, which has nothing to do with Rampage. It's just puzzles with your monster occasionally punching the building.
That sounds a lot like what is it? Not Super Godzilla. One of those old crappy Nintendo Godzilla games where it's a strategy game. I think James Rolfe reviewed it.
Yeah, it was Godzilla 2 Monster of Monsters.
Or Rampage Puzzle? What?
Yeah, it was like Tetris but with Rampage. Kind of, sort of, not really.
No, not at all. Okay.
Yeah. And finally, I did play Rampage Total Destruction, the one you played. I did like it. I got it for the Wii because there were like 10 more characters. Unfortunately, like as cool as it was to be able to shake the remote in order to smash down on buildings, it just made my arm really sore after having to smash, waggle the remote for everything. Which made me realize, okay, I was better off using a GameCube controller, just pressing down A instead of smash down. Let's see. But yeah, as for the game itself, I really wanted to, I really actually wanted to have this game be a bit of a quirky action comedy like that of Mars Attacks, something like that's more stylized and over the top instead of having this generic at 2010s action movie aesthetic. However, what we have here may not be what I want personally, but I do like it overall, and it does seem like a lot of fun. And we got The Rock, so we're still going to have some charming, wacky, witty, not so much witty, but some amusing one-liners.
It's The Rock!
Here and there. Yeah, it's The Rock. You can't go wrong with him.
No, you know what? This is kind of a sidebar, but I watched Mona recently, the Disney movie that he's in. He plays
Mona.
Mona. Yeah, Mona.
That's not like the porn parody of Moana.
I don't know. That's a very different movie, not made by Disney or endorsed by Disney. But you know what? I'm kind of disappointed that I think he could be. If they hadn't have gone with Will Smith, I think he could have played a good genie. I don't know. You know, he's singing and dancing in that movie, and you know he's a demigod. He's got a stick. You know, he's lovable.
Right.
Unlike Will Smith, who doesn't have a stick and isn't lovable.
Yeah. Let's see. This is answering a text right now. But yeah, and also I do understand the reasons for literally whitewashing George.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
Or as Dylan likes to reference a callback to the Black Dynamite animated series, Honky Kong.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense because brown apes and black colored apes are pretty much. People will automatically think of King Kong, both the 2005 and the new brown-colored Skull Island version. So they want to make their giant monkey distinct, so it makes sense to make it white.
It was kind of cool getting
sorry.
It was kind of cool getting the tease of Lizzie at the end. You know, that was always my favorite character, the most Godzilla-like of the three. So.
Oh yeah, same here. Also, it's kind of weird that they're not human mutants, but I guess they want to go in that more gritty, realistic style by making them mutant animals instead of mutant people that somehow turn into animals. And but again, it's different from what I would have wanted. It would have been cool to see The Rock turn into George. But,
oh God, yeah.
But again, with what we have, it still looks cool. And of course, Lizzie's not a dinosaur, but then again, they're trying to go the whole mutant animal route, so you can't really mutate the the dinosaur, an extinct animal, because that's just not realistic.
No. There's no cartoon DNA strand to tell me how that works, so that can't happen.
It's that long. Let's see. Next question.
I think that's a line of dialogue from Mona too, Andre. So you better be careful.
Let's see. Kevin Dwayan says, question, how long should a movie... Oh, yeah, we already answered that. Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon says, so Godzilla's like a euglena, then? I don't know what that is, Sci-Fi Dragon. Let's see. Thoughts on Godzilla being around 300 meters? That would go into spoiler territory, so I'm not going to answer that. Let's see. Crooked says, what do you consider the most interesting mythology and why? I'd say Greek mythology. I don't know, it just seems the most exciting. I love the idea that all their gods are dicks.
I know.
Constantly messing around with the humans, having demigod babies, and having them go around fighting monsters.
I mean, if I were a god, like, speaking hypothetically, I would be a dick, probably, if I had that much power.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Power corrupts, Andres, absolutely.
That's what the Greeks were trying to teach us.
Right, that's what Batman v Superman taught me. Because the lady said it.
Right. Let's see. Considering, and Shoma says, considering unmade American films like Godzilla Reborn and Godzilla vs. the Mysterians, and the, I guess he meant to say Godzilla 94, with all comedic elements, do you think a more humorous G film could at all work? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, comedic superhero films work with, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Let's see. If Gundam was to have a crossover with an American movie or series, what would it be? Gundam versus what?
An American movie or TV series?
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe Transformers. Transformers would be cool.
I'm gonna go with Friends. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah. Maybe the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Power Rangers would be interesting. You know, like Sentai versus versus Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want to see an Uncle Phil Gundam. That would be cool.
Yeah. Corey in the House.
Andres, now you're just reaching.
Right, that's true. Let's see.
So that is the best anime. We should
absolutely.
That.
Yeah. According to WatchMojo.com.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Shazam the Puss or Joseph says, "What is Brayton's opinion on the designs of the Evangelions?" Well, that's an interesting question.
You know, I don't know. I think they're interesting from a visual standpoint. I don't know I don't think I've ever seen them in motion. I think I've only seen screenshots to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fine. They're a little confusing, like visually.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion one way or another. You're not gonna get me to watch Evangelion, Joseph.
Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon says, "I have finally seen Shin Godzilla and liked it. Seen Shin Godzilla. I liked it." Can't believe I referenced that song.
I know. We've officially jumped the shark.
But I'm not sure if I would consider myself a Hideaki Anno fan since I've only seen one thing from him. Watch Gunbuster, my friend. Let's see. Griffinixaurus Rex says, "Question, could City Shroud and Shadow work like Super Robot Wars, or I wishing too much here?" It is nothing like Super Robot Wars except in its premise, Griffinixaurus Rex, where all these characters exist in the same universe, and that's just it. They act like it's always been that way. So it's not some dimension hopping, it's not some like fictional characters come to life through otherworldly means. It's just these characters exist here and they've always been here, and today of all days, on this one particular day, they all decide to show up at the same time for this unlucky protagonist. As for gameplay, that's a whole other story, which I will get into in my review when I eventually complete it.
Coming soon.
Question, Godzilla manga, will you ever review them? If my Japanese becomes good enough to read them adequately. I have all the Heisei Godzilla manga adaptations except for Godzilla 84, but and including I have the manga adaptation of Godzilla 2000, and the stories are feel a lot shorter because it's like the entire movie condensed into a single volume. The stories are more streamlined. They focus on like one character at a time with maybe 2 or 3 supporting characters, as opposed to going all over the place in the Heisei films. But the action is definitely amped up because it's drawn instead of, they're not limited by practical suits. I would like to review them eventually in the future, but we'll see about that. Depends on if my Japanese is good enough within the next
You can
year.
just look at the pictures, Andre. I don't know if you're gonna miss a whole lot.
That's not how I roll, Brain. You know that more than anyone else, especially with Gamera, with Mothra 2.
Oh. I definitely know that.
Let's see. Luke TD says, "What's an older video game that you want to play?" All of them. No.
All the games.
All tech games. Let's see. Older video game that I want to play. Ooh, I want to play more. I played only a little bit of this through emulation, but I really do want to play more of Techromancer for the Sega Dreamcast, where it's a giant robot fighting game. Of course, you know me. And where every character is an homage to a popular robot franchise. And there's even like a character that's a hybrid of Ultra 7 and Evangelion called Pulsion. And I thought that was really cool. Let's see, is there an older video game you ever wanted to play, Brayden?
You know, I've only had really 3 video game consoles in my entire life. I had a Super Nintendo, a GameCube, and a PS. And I have a PS4. When I had the Super Nintendo, one of the games I had was I can't remember which one, but it was Mega Man, and I never played Mega Man.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in him, like as a character. So I'd like to play any. What is there a certain one that you guys would recommend at all that I'd start with? Because I still have my Super Nintendo.
Definitely the first Mega Man X. I mean, Mega Man X.
Okay.
That's a good game for the Super Nintendo. I think the first 5 X games are on there, and the original classic Mega Man 8 is on there. So, like, Mega Man and Mega Man X are, like, 2 different incarnations. X takes place, is, like, a future incarnation of Mega Man. So, like, they had, like, Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they had X, and then they brought out 7 and 8, while X was also ongoing. Sorry, I made a mistake. Mega Man 7 is on the Super Nintendo, but I hear it's not as popular as the older Mega Man games, so it's the X series that you want to focus on. So if you're going to focus on anything, focus on Mega Man X. That's the first one.
All right, cool.
Let's see. There's one Super Nintendo game by Konami called Metal Warriors. It's like a side-scrolling giant robot shooting game that's really expensive and it's really rare. I doubt I can ever find an affordable copy of it. But yeah, I guess Star Fox. I've always been a bit interested in getting into Star Fox. F-Zero
me too.
as well. Mostly Star Fox, yeah. I have the NES Classic, or the Japanese version, the Super Famicom Classic edition, so hopefully I can check that out soon. Let's see. Crooked says, question, what is the most interesting... Oh yeah, we already answered that. Question from Manda. Since you like the Shadow comics, have you ever seen the 1994 movie starring Alec Baldwin? I have a copy of it digitally, but I haven't gotten around to seeing it, but I will hopefully review it soon with... eventually in the future with Matt Denian on our new series of film noir reviews. I know The Shadow, I don't think that particular version of The Shadow counts as film noir, but because the character itself has been like entrenched in film noir throughout his whole history, I think it would be appropriate for Denny and I to tackle that movie together. Have you ever seen The Shadow movie, Brayton?
Never seen The Shadow movie. I'm familiar with the character. I don't know. Alec Ball. I'm interested though in seeing it. I've seen. I'm also a fan of the character Dick Tracy, and I saw the Dick Tracy movie, and I don't know how I feel about that.
That I'm actually a fan of.
Oh, you're a fan of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Graphenic Rex says, question, are Zoids relevant in Japan, or are they like Gamera over there? They're like Gamera over here. No one gives a shit about Zoids.
No one gives... That's sad. That's poor Gamera, man. What a rough shake he's gotten in life.
Nobody even remembers Gamera, honestly, from the people
I
I've
remember
talked to.
you, Gamera.
Let's see. Crooked says, is it weird that me, being a superstitious fellow, think ghost hunting shows are dumb as fuck? No, you are not weird, Crooked.
They are, in fact, dumb as fuck.
Let's see. Joe says, are there any other tokusatsu shows like Ultraman Nexus or Kamen Rider Amazons in the sense they're darker in tone and follow a consistent storyline that continues after each episode? And people are already saying Garo. I guess there's your answer there, Joe. I wouldn't know because I am sadly not as well informed as other people who explore TV tokusatsu. Let's see. Question on thoughts on Death Battle. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I like Death Battle. That's pretty cool.
I don't follow it that much though, but I really like their I didn't like so much the presentation of the Godzilla versus Gamera fight, but I did really like their Megazord versus Voltron fight, even if it was a bit on the short side.
I like what does the series Bat in the Sun do?
Superhero Beatdown.
Yeah, I really love that. Because that's
really
live action
fun.
and there's awesome like production value and everything into it, but
yeah. And Jason David Frank is Green Ranger.
Yeah. Stan Lee was in one. He was in the what was it? The Darth Maul and Spider-Man one. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
He did a cameo thing there.
That's cool. Let's see. Were they the same people who made that one show, that one fan film, Batman City of Scars?
I'm pretty sure because the Batman actor they usually go to is the actor from that.
Yeah, with the same bat suit, right? With a segmented bat symbol. It's like, this is our Batman.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good Batman. He's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Sci-Fi Dragon says, have you guys seen and or heard of the animated film Philaday? It's that animated cat movie with a lot of violence and gore.
Oh, this is the one that Brandon Tennell reviewed with the cat sex scene. No,
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I have no intentions of ever seeing it.
I've seen his review, and that's all I've seen myself as well.
That's all I need to see, yeah.
Let's see. Question: what's your thoughts on Godzilla Unleashed? Personally, I think it stinks. To quote the character, what was it from Gigan?
Yeah.
That where that line was in the.
That's right. It
dub.
stinks.
Yeah, it stinks. The people they got greedy lazy,
See, they don't need Godzilla. They just need fucking Sylvester Stallone to fight off alien monsters.
Godzilla, I think you've gotten very lazy, so I made my own Godzilla. I call it Mecha Godzilla. I'm gonna pilot it. I'm gonna show those aliens what for,
He could be a total Don Fry like character, like old Sylvester Stallone. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm gonna do what I gotta do,
There's two things you don't know about Earth, One is Godzilla, or me, I mean, however the fucking quote goes,
Yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on Godzilla Unleashed. I thought it was very ambitious, but unfortunately, a lot of their ideas didn't really work out that well. Their motion controls are frustrating as hell, especially when you're trying to either jump or grab, because in order to jump, you need to move the Wii Remote, but in order to grab, you need to move the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. But whenever you move the Wii Remote, you end up doing like an upwards motion, which makes your character jump. And why is the gravity so goddamn, floaty? Why does it look like Godzilla's jumping on the moon? But yeah, the controls are awful. There's nothing in those controls that was worth sacrificing the classic controls for. You could have easily, I wish they could have had like a GameCube controller option, but no, they have to sell it on the motion controls. But pretty much everything you can do in that game can pretty much be done with a classic controller, with the exception of being able to attack and move at the same time, which to me was not that big of a deal, really. And the whole aiming your beam attack with your Wii Remote was crap. So yeah, it had potential, but overall the controls were what brought it down for me, personally. I don't care if it has as many monsters. It doesn't matter when you can't even play the game properly. To quote the Angry Video Game Nerd from years ago, what's the most important part about a video game? Being able to fucking play it. Let's see. Question: what's your favorite mechanism anime over than Gundam? Okay, I guess he mentioned what's your favorite anime besides Gundam. Let's see. What was I gonna say was my favorite? Oh yeah, Gurren Lagann. That's my favorite. Followed by the Big O. No. Followed by Giant Robo, the animation. Followed by the Big O. So yeah, the Big O, Giant Robo, Gurren Lagann, and Gundam. Let's see. Question: are you upset that City Enshrouded in Shadows used Pardon with the sausage head used in of its... What the fuck is that? Question: are you upset that City Shrouded in Shadow used Pardon with the sausage head instead of its 2?
Okay, people. No, come on. You can't be doing this unintentionally.
Later on, he said, thoughts on Darkstalkers. I've only played one game, the collection game on the PSP, but I think it's really fun. It's Street Fighter, but with Universal monster-inspired characters.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Question: what are some of your favorite Godzilla monsters? Titanosaurus, Ghidorah, Rodan, King Caesar. Let's see. Baragon. That's about sums it up. I think Rodan. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla. That's about it. Yeah. You?
Oh, all the rest can just fuck right off. No one gives a fuck about Orga or Batra or what's that? Mega Gearus. The less said about Mega Gearus, the better.
Indeed. Let's see. Question: what are your thoughts on Roland Emmerich's movies besides Godzilla '98? I did like Independence Day, but everything else after that just felt repetitive and contrived. Like he's just repeating the same bag of tricks over and over again. Let's see. Question from Joe: because of your interest in video games narrowed down to only heavy story-driven games, what games that fall under that category seem to interest you, Brayton? I have a suggestion: BioShock.
God, no need to yell, Joe. I don't know.
He caps locked that shit.
I know. He must really like BioShock for some reason. I don't know. A lot of the Telltale games, their stories look really interesting. I think like L.A. Noire and oh god, what's the other one? What's the cowboy one they did too?
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption. If I were to play a video game like that, those would be at the top of my list.
Cool. Have you ever thought about getting into Final Fantasies, considering how JRPGs are usually story heavy?
I've never really considered getting into it, but I mean, I don't really know much about it, so.
I guess the two games that people would most likely point towards is either Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy VII. Ooh, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is another one that a lot of RPG fans love for its story and characters.
Yeah, the only real connection I have to
I was going to say you have a Super Nintendo, so you can get Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Anyway, sorry, as you were saying.
Yeah, I think wasn't there like a Final Fantasy trailer at the beginning of the Final Wars DVD or something?
Yeah, that was the a movie as a follow-up to Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay, so there's movies. Okay.
Yeah, there was a previous movie called Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, but it had nothing to do with Final Fantasy. Well, technically, none of the games have anything to do with each other. Each of them just take place in their own world, utilizing some of the same themes, creatures, weapons, magic attacks, monsters. So it's like each game was like a reboot of the last game. Some looked more fantasy-based, some looked more technology-based. But they always carry some similar themes through each of them. And so
now I've got a question here, Andre. So this is about semantics. How can it be a Final Fantasy if there are multiple versions of this story?
I would say because it's the final story of that particular continuity, but then no, because some of those games end up getting sequels, like the movie Final Fantasy VII: Advent Children, Final Fantasy VII: Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII: Crisis Core, Final Fantasy X 2, Final Fantasy 13 2.
What?
Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn.
This is getting a little confusing here. I'm chronologically confused.
Just imagine if Angry Video Game Nerd ever did a chronologically confused about the Final Fantasy timeline. Let's see. Kevin Dwyan says, what's your favorite Godzilla reference out of nowhere?
Go right into it.
I think he meant like a reference to Godzilla from another movie
or
series.
I thought it was just saying, if somebody were to walk up to me on the street and make a reference to a Godzilla movie, and they expected no one to get it, I would get that reference. Out of nowhere. But,
I want to say maybe Spielberg's The Lost World Jurassic Park, where the Japanese dude says, I left Japan to get away from this.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Austin Powers one's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question, thoughts on Loco, the Pixar movie? Loco? You mean Coco? I haven't seen it, because it's not in Japan yet until, like, March or April, but I want to see it though, because it's about Day of the Dead, and it's always been an aspect of my Mexican heritage that I never got to experience in San Diego, that I'm very interested in seeing it get explored in a Pixar movie.
Yeah, I'd like to see Loco, which is a Pixar movie about the white lady who tried setting up her own Mexican food restaurant.
That's it. That needs to be a thing now. Question.
Coming to a theaters this summer, a family event. Loco.
I love chalupas.
I certainly love them, especially with their tortillas. And I
Yeah.
love their making tortillas into quesadillas.
I just love jalapenos. They're so great. They're so lit. Sometimes I post pictures of me eating a jalapeno and post it on my Instagram to influence people. It's pretty great.
Let's see. Question. When Michael Bay turns this podcast into a movie, who gets to be played by Megan Fox?
Me!
Of course.
I have the better ass, thank you.
You certainly got the better looks. I'm more like the rugged hero, so I guess I would I would be Mark Wahlberg.
There you go. That oh my god, I want to see Mark Wahlberg play Andres Perez. Make this happen, Kickstarter.
Hey everybody! Hey people of the internet! It's Mark Wahlberg. I mean, it's Kaiju Noir here. We're gonna talk about a movie now. This movie fucking sucks, you know.
I want to see what your version of Ted would be like. That would just be awesome.
Yeah. Hey Ted, let's go get drunk and high now. Ah, friggin' sweet, Andres.
Would Chibi Draco Azul be your version of Ted? I think so.
Yes. Ah, friggin' sweet, I'm a chibi robot now. All the Japanese chicks, they dig these tiny little midget robots. Let's see. Thoughts on Trey the Explainer. I think he's a great paleontologist-based YouTuber. Love his videos. Let's see. Have you ever heard of him?
No, the only paleontologist I've heard of is Denny Roth.
Ah, right.
Yeah. You know, he knows a lot about dinosaurs, people. Just ask him.
You can take our word for it.
Yes.
Let's see. Question. What are your thoughts on the Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 movie?
Oh, it was a great movie. I loved it. Didn't you, Andres? I loved the part where he breathed his fire on the thing and then it blew up and it was cool. Remember that part? That was great.
I remember that part. Remember the part where he roared and the part where he...
Oh my god, I screamed and I clapped in my seat.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know anything about it because we're too early in production, but the actors seem to be good, and hopefully they learned their lesson. They got a new director, new writer, I think, so hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes. Let's see. Lost my place here. Okay. A euglena is a microorganism that has both animal and plant traits. Thanks for informing us, Sci-Fi Dragon. Let's see. But it was one thought to be a protist, but I think it's different from a protist.
I don't know what those words mean, Andres. What do those words mean?
Neither do I. Let's see. Question, would you want another King Kong movie after Godzilla vs. Kong? Yes!
Yeah.
Always.
I don't know what they do, but I'd like to see it.
Let's see. Question, tits or ass? Yes! Always!
Yes!
Let's see. Question, who would win, giant hairy elephant or skinny chips with sharp sticks? Yes!
Yes! Always.
Could a turducken kaiju work? Do you know what a turducken is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's your turducken kaiju. It's delicious when it's covered in gravy. And a turducken, Andres, I think it's either a turkey stuffed inside of a duck inside of a chicken,
right,
or it's a chicken stuffed inside of a turkey inside of a duck. I don't know. I don't know what's stuffed in what.
Right. I've seen John Tron's video of making one.
There's a lot of stuffing going on. It's like a human centipede, but a chicken centipede or whatever. It's weird.
It's a bird centipede.
It's a bird centipede. That's a terrifying thought.
Let's see. But yeah, I'll say yes, just for the sheer hilarity of it.
Just for the lols.
For the lulz. 2008 memes. That's probably not 2008. Anyways, do you think War of the Monsters could be done as a movie? Yes!
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't played War of the Monsters, but if Andre says yes, then yes.
It's on the PS4. You can download it on the PS4 on the PlayStation Store for like $5 or something.
Nice.
Let's see. Question: what is your favorite Gamera villain, either human or monster from the Showa era? Giron.
Oh yeah, I love Giron. He's so adorable.
Yeah. Let's see. Crooked says, question, we talked about a, like, fleshy, scary, organic Dracozool. Would a fleshy Voltron be a human centipede sort of creature or something as nasty? Actually, I've seen someone do that with Voltron, where it's just, like, a person who has taped lions to his arms and legs and chest. Let me look for that.
Probably not a good idea for all the kids out there listening. Don't tape lions to your arms.
It's funny. I type in Voltron and all I get are the Netflix show, images related to the Netflix show, which is cool and surprising, seeing how popular that show has now become. Let's see, Voltron. And someone did the same thing. I think the same artist also did something similar with the Megazord, where it's just like a bunch of dinosaurs all clumsily mixed up together in the vague shape of a Megazord.
I just don't want to see anything stuffed inside of Voltron, or something, or a Voltron stuffed inside of something else. I don't know. This is a creepy area we're getting into, Andres.
Probably, and I can't find the image, so I'll give up on that. Oh no, here it is. Yes. Copy, and I'll paste it in the chat box here, and I'll paste it here in the Skype link right now. That's what an organic Voltron would look like.
Ooh. Just as disturbing as I envisioned. How nice.
Those lions are not happy at all.
No, someone call PETA.
Let's see. Hope that answers your question, Crooked. If it doesn't, oh well. No, nothing is lost. Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon says, question, do you think there's any chance of a new Gamera film being made? Or no?
No.
Let's see. Question, favorite monster from Godzilla the series, not counting Godzilla Jr. I like the C-Rex.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Let's see.
Question. I like the bat thing. What is that?
I forgot.
I think the sound. I think the roar that it makes is kind of the sort of bat screeches. Kind of neat. Eerie.
Let's see. Question: what animals do you like that is part of the genre you do not? What anime do you like that is part of a genre you do not like? Oh, okay. So like if I'm not a fan of like romantic anime, but there's a romantic anime that I happen to like. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's see. Something that I like from a genre I don't really like. Hard to say. I can't really tell because most of what I watch are usually from stuff that I do like. Like, I know I hate Moe, but I doubt there's a Moe anime out there that I'll actually watch or that I have already watched and liked. You know, Moe being that cutesy, super cutesy, sappy anime stuff.
Oh, how could you not like that, Andres?
It's sickening to me. And I can't take their super squealy, high-pitched voices.
Yeah.
Like, for some people, they'll go, kawaii. For me, I just chuck that shit out the window. Or beat it with a sledgehammer. It's like, no!
Oh my god.
Stop that! Talk like real teenagers! You're not little girls anymore!
Ugh.
No, let's see. So I can't answer
Talk
that.
like me! It'd be better if they all talked like Andres.
Talk like real people, damn it! Let's see. Question, have either of you seen Alien Covenant? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Says Joe. I have not seen it.
No, haven't seen it. I saw, what was the thing he made before that? What was the, Prometheus? Is that it?
Yeah, I've seen
I
that.
saw Prometheus. Haven't seen Alien Covenant.
Okay. Let's see. What is the worst adaptation to change the source material that ruined the movie? Dragon Ball Evolution.
That ruined the movie. Okay, this is kind of, I don't know if it ruined the movie because there was a lot of shit wrong in the movie. But something that really, really grinds my gears, Andres, is it's an easy target. In Batman and Robin, making Bane just a idiot who just says Bane.
Yeah.
When the cool thing about him is that he is so intelligent.
Yeah.
It was really disappointing.
Right, they just saw the luchador mask and thought, big, strong, stupid muscle guy.
Yeah.
That's the ticket. Let's see. Question, can my cartoon idea from Crooked, can my cartoon idea from Jeffrey the racially insensitive badger work? On the internet, yes. On television, no. Your character on the internet, your character could be the next Foamy the squirrel.
The hell is Jeffrey the racially insensitive badger?
Show him, Crooked. Let's see. Jared Cheek says you just kind of sounded like Peter Griffin to me, at least. There you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Let's see. Thoughts on Stranger Things? Says the Toho Society. It's good.
I love it. Season 2 was awesome.
I still need to see Season 2. I've just been too busy. Let's see. Question. Do you think Dagara from Rebirth of Mothra 2 could fit into the MonsterVerse? Sure, but why? Unless you're that desperate for an obscure... unless Legendary Pictures is desperate to spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to get the rights to a obscure monster that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I'd rather not see anything. I don't want to see anything from Rebirth of Mothra 2 ever fit anywhere again, ever.
Then you're not going to like 2 seconds of Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, Brayton.
Oh.
Let's see.
Goddamn.
Brayton Connor, the Godzilla, the series monster you're referring to is simply called the Giant Bat.
Oh, okay. I should have guessed that.
Let's see here. Crooked said, but Belle is Moe. How could you? How could I, Crooked? How couldn't I?
Belle hater.
Just kidding. Luckily, Belle is tolerable to me, at least, because she is being written by an American with a sense of comedy I actually like. So she is the exception, Crooked.
Is that racist?
What?
You like her because she's being written by an American?
I'm saying she's written by an American with an American sense of humor who knows what he's doing. Instead of just screaming out the top of her lungs and getting into slice of life shenanigans and acting over the top and overreacting to the smallest of inconveniences. I already get that enough from real life Japanese people. Thank you very much. Let's see. What are your pet peeves about YouTube movie reviewers? My pet peeves, Manda, are the people who try to go the nostalgia critic route. I've just slowly grown out of that style of movie reviewing where you go through the entire movie step by step by step and make constant skits or jokes. Like, narrate over a piece of movie, make a joke. Narrate over a piece of the movie, make a joke. Narrate over the piece of the movie, make a joke. Unless you're someone like Ralph the Movie Maker, who actually does critiquing Ralph the Movie Maker or I Hate Everything, where they make critiques as they go through the plot of the movie, or even D-Man 1954, he makes critiques as he goes through the movie. I'd rather prefer that. I've just grown out of people who do solely comedic nostalgia critic style reviews. I mean, that's why I haven't seen any of Channel Awesome stuff in a long time. There was what was his name? That person I showed you, Brayton. Mysterious Mr. Enter. He used to do that kind of stuff, but then he gets into tangents after tangents and gets like overreactive and just starts doing this like fake shouting, fake anger sort of deal. I haven't watched him in like a year or two, but I used to be a fan of his earlier works, and then I just dropped off of his thing because I couldn't stand his style of presentation. You know,
something that's really something to do with the nostalgia critic, and and it bothers me. And it's a difference, and it's a polarizing difference, I feel.
Yeah.
The nostalgia critics' reviews are their skits interrupting a review, where on the opposite side, something like Best of the Worst, or not Best of the Worst, well, yeah, that to an extent too, and like Half in the Bag, they're a skit interrupted by a review, so it's kind of the opposite thing, and I'm a lot happier if you have a weird, bizarre storyline going on, and
kind of like what I do.
Yeah, and a review just happens to break out of the middle of it, rather than...
And it's it's uninterrupted for the most part.
Yeah, and you just get the skit like at the beginning and the end, as opposed to the nostalgia critic where it just keeps running through the entire thing and really serves no purpose other than to make you feel sad about yourself.
I guess it's supposed to make you laugh, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of like I don't know if this is controversial because they're internet darlings, but like Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckman, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of like how they just don't really. There's nothing captivating there to me.
Okay.
Jeremy Jahns seems he's very vague when he reviews something. And tries to cover that up with just being energetic all the time and moving his hands around.
Yeah.
And then with Chris Stuckman, it's just like the lack of effort that he puts into his reviews.
He's like the exact opposite, where he's very mellow.
I know, he's very okay. I'm Chris Stuckman. I saw a movie, and he just sort of he stares at the camera, and there's some jump cuts here and there, but it's kind of like the polar opposite ends. There's like way too much energy, and then just dull and drab, and a guy talking to a camera,
And be sure to subscribe and get Stuckmanized. For me, I'm actually a fan of those two guys, but I can see where you're coming from. I've seen a lot of people who've had that same complaint, especially with Jeremy Jahns. But to me, their personalities are kind of actually what appeals to me, and their review. Although I do follow Chris Stuckman more often than with Jeremy Jahns, because I feel like Chris Stuckman puts more time into explaining his points. Sure. But I think they're all right.
I feel like I feel almost that someone like Chris Stuckman would be better suited for like written reviews and essays.
Yeah, I can see
other than the video format where it also has to be visually interesting, and just talking in front of a camera isn't really that captivating anymore.
This is why I went the animated route, thanks to Crooked.
Well, no, but like even before then, you had images and videos and everything that from the film. Other than, and I just don't think sitting in front of a camera and talking really adds anything if you're going to do it in this format. I think it's what he does is better suited for written reviews. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah. And what do you think of like Andre from Black Nerd Comedy?
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff to really formulate an opinion.
Yeah. I think he's okay, but I think he laughs at his own jokes too much. He'll say something and then he goes, he'll just do an extended chuckle. But that's just a minor thing. Let's see, anything else I want to say about reviewers or critics? Let's see.
Reviewing the movie is a cardinal sin.
That's a major pet peeve. One thing I want to bring up is that with Doug Walker, he did the original run of Nostalgia Critic from like 2007 or 8 to 2012. That's like roughly a 4 or 5 year period. Then he came back in like after Demo Reel failed. He came back in like 2013 or 14, and then has gone on to this day. I think he's done that rebooted Nostalgia Critics thing longer than his actual original run, which is crazy.
I think
if you think about it.
Yeah.
Just as long, if not longer, doing the new sketch style instead of the original style, which he's already claimed that he was already done with. How sad is it that you claimed that he was done with Nostalgia Critic because he felt like, he did everything he could with it, and here he is doing that even longer.
Yeah, like what, 10 years later? Yeah. Still just... and I'm surprised he hasn't burned himself out of this format of doing sketch comedy along with it too.
Yeah. Let's see. And Shoma asks, do you believe that modern American movie audiences are getting smarter, or is it just the new forms of Or is it just new forms of the typical Joe and Jill popcorn public stupidity? That and Shoma.
Yeah.
They didn't, not as many of them went to see the new Transformers movie, but still quite a lot came to give it $130 million of their own money.
Nobody saw Blade Runner 2049. That's so upsetting.
Yep. Let's see. Question, Crooked says, I don't want to sound like I'm making this about me, but which is your favorite episode of my Crooked Fable so far? I'm just going to be biased and go with the JoJo episode because I'm a fan of that series, and I love how Bell was constantly like making references to the first 3 story arcs, even, or at least the first and third story arcs, which, when you explain the plot of JoJo to someone who's never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. I think you've tried doing that. You've tried explaining it to me, and I was kind of at a loss.
Yeah, I was going like, it's Dragon Ball Z, but with like Castlevania, where it's like instead of aliens and martial artists, you've got people using some forms of martial arts, spirit energy, fighting vampires and zombies, and ancient superpowered races of superhumans.
Is this what Scientologists believe, Andres?
I think so.
Hmm.
Let's see. Primal Graphenosaurus Rex says, question, sorry for early, what I meant to say was pardon for Ultraman. I meant to say was pardon for Ultraman, aka the 2-headed bird kaiju thing. Are you talking about Pandon?
Are we saying there's a monster called Pardon? What?
Pardon for Ultraman? Or are you referring to Pandon from Ultraman? I don't know what I still don't understand what you're saying, but is it Pandon? Let's see, moving on. Sci-Fi Dragon. No, that's another question. Oh, okay, Joe says, do Japanese women really love you more than David, Andres? I'm going to default to yes because they have no idea who David is. Let's see. Jared.
But they know who Andres is. He makes rounds around the town. You know, he's as we mentioned, he's a cultural revolutionary over there.
The hashtag #Perevolution.
Revolution.
Let's see. Crooked says, question, who is your favorite YouTube animator? Before you answer, remember I animate for you for free. Your answer may change that. Yes, my favorite of all time is Crooked Lore Productions. Go subscribe to him, everybody, all 13 of you watching.
Smash that like button.
Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell.
Not bell, but the bell.
No, don't hit the bell. No. I don't know how old she is, Crooked, but I'm assuming if she's Moe, she's underage. Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon says, another pet peeve I have about movie reviews is their tendency to jump on the bandwagon and often adapt similar opinions to each other out of fear for being hated on. That's kind of true. The bandwagon effect is really big. Question, what do you think of Disney's Dinosaur? I liked it. I loved it as a child. I haven't seen it in ages, but I remembered enjoying that thoroughly, and that being my very first DVD for my household.
I actually haven't seen the movie. I love the ride, though, that it's kind of based off of, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. We should check out that movie one of these days.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think? Oh, no, I just read that. Question, what is a mythology that you find interesting that's not Greek or Norse? Aztec mythology, because that's my people's mythology. No, seriously, yeah, probably. That's the only one I've ever looked into besides Greek. Oh, by the way, I do want to ask everybody, there was this book I read in my elementary school library that was like a collection of stories, each story focusing on a different mythological creature from a different culture. There was a story about the Japanese dragons, there was a story about the Quetzalcoatl, story about the Indian Naga, and maybe a story about the Chimera or Pegasus. And I completely forgot what the title of that book was, and I've been trying to search for it online. So for anyone who knows what book I'm talking about, where it's a collection of stories, each focusing on a different mythological creature from a different culture, please let me know if you've seen this book before, and if you can let me know what the title is, because I remember liking that artwork from that book, where it's kind of like I think it was sort of like a hand painted or watercolor art for each of the monsters, and I remember each of the creatures had like a very, very vivid colors. Like Quetzalcoatl was like bluish greenish, the Naga was like orange and red. Oh, and this was where I learned about the story of the dragons, where the dragons started out as like koi fish, and when they traveled up the stream, they turned into dragons that flew into the sky. And that was like the story that ended up being the inspiration for like the Pokemon Magikarp and why it turns into Gyarados. Have you ever seen this book, Brayton?
I have not.
Okay. Let's see.
Sorry to shit on this awesome sounding book by saying I haven't seen it, but
no problem. Let's see. Question from Enchoma. Your two's honest thoughts on my friend reviewer and pre-undress meal ticket, Brandon Tenold. Let's see. Even though he does the whole thing where it's like joke story, joke story, joke story, at least I do like. I find his humor appealing in that like snarky, cinema snob style cynicism. However, I haven't actually been following Brendan Tenold's work unless it's a movie I really know about. Like, recently he did a review for Gamera the Brave. But the thing is, like, again, I don't like that cutting. I'm more engaged by purely analytical reviews instead of the joke style based reviews. So I do follow his reviews from time to time, but I just am not that interested. I'm not as engaged in that style of review. So only when it's something that I know about, like his Guyver reviews, then that helps me get engaged more. But I think out of all the joke-based reviews, I do like him. But again, I just can't bring myself to watch that style of review on a regular basis. As for you, Brayton?
Yeah, I don't watch him regularly, but he kind of goes. I like his movie choices being more obscure, drive-in monster movie type of things, other than Nostalgia Critic's recent trend of picking not nostalgia movies that are. I don't even know what he's up to. He's
clearly trying to just write a cash cow.
Yeah, but Brandon Tenold, I don't like his. I don't like that format either, but I think he does it well enough to pull it off. And he's Canadian, so yeah.
Yeah.
He's A-okay with me. That's
A-okay, I get it.
See what? Yeah, okay.
Crooked says Belle is 185 years old and Augustine is 120 years. How does that work? That Belle acts younger but is older than your main character, Crooked?
Age is just a number, Andres.
All right, let's see. Enchoma, silly question for Connor. Will you ever publicly apologize to both myself and to my original character, Miss Blue, for calling the later Miss Blow?
First off, it is Brayton, sir. I don't know who this Connor person is. I shall not be known by my... What is it? Is it a surname? Is that what it's called? Your last name? A surname? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I shall not be known by my surname because people have been making that mistake all my life of thinking my name is Connor. Connor Brayton. Fuck off. But no, I won't apologize, Nshoma. I thought making that error was kind of funny, and maybe you should talk about it with your sad clown friends. I don't know.
Let's see. The Toho Society says, just wondering, does Godzilla have his own roar, or does he use the roar from past series? He uses the Millennium Godzilla 2000 roar in the new movie. Let's see. Joe says, question. What am I like in the respective continuities of Andres and Brayton's canon?
What are you like?
Yeah.
Do I have a cannon? I wish I had a cannon so I could shoot myself out of it. What is Joseph like? He's a, I don't know.
He's a quiet individual.
Quiet.
Who, when he does speak, he often has either bouts of genius, snarky remarks, or instances where it's just completely random stuff that I don't understand.
Yeah, he's alternate universe David.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, I guess.
But less in the spotlight.
Right. He's more of a behind the scenes creep than he is an out front creep like David is.
Yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, given that I've mostly interacted with. Have I ever talked to Joe through Skype?
Yeah, you've talked to Joe through Skype. I think. Yeah. Maybe. I think so. I don't know. Joe doesn't Skype anymore.
No, he
well,
doesn't.
you talked to him on a certain live stream that we did on somebody else's channel. I'm pretty sure.
We did?
And I think so. He was
Okay.
there for a little bit, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I've tried to block all those memories out from back
Whatever.
then. But whatever, Andres. Anyway,
Yeah.
but no, I think you've talked to Joe. He's a very soft spoken. This is going to be the Joe Fazina podcast. He's a very soft spoken person when you speak to him.
Yeah.
But he's very entertaining in text form.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. Moving on, Michael Jackson Helm says, "What are your opinions on Raiju, a kaiju hunter?" The only Raiju I know, I've seen the title of that in the back of Matt Denion's books, but I've never read it. Sorry. Let's see. I do disagree with most movie reviewers that have that style of nostalgia critic. I actually like people that with that sort of style, just as long as they have elements that give them their own identity. Okay, more power to you, Jared Cheeks.
Would you put JonTron in that style?
Let's see.
Because of
You know
those
what?
few
You're
movie
right.
reviews I've seen of his.
With his movie reviews, you're right, he does do that, where it's like he sees something and he does. I think the thing is he has enough production value to go out and parody a lot of the stuff. And you're right, he is definitely the kind of person who reviews the movie, makes a joke, reviews the movie, makes the joke. I just find him too damn funny. So I think like he is so much more unique than most other people that he's able to get away with that, even though the usual stuff of a person sitting in front of a camera. Maybe that's the thing. It's the presentation where most reviewers, they sit in front of a camera and look at the camera directly as if they're watching the movie on that camera they're looking at. Whereas with JonTron,
I've always thought that was off-putting.
Yeah. It's like, or like at least with like the Cinema Snob, I'm not sure if he still does this, but he always looks at an angle, like looks off to the side as if there's a TV there that's playing the movie.
Mhm.
Ow! What the hell?
What the hell? What the fuck? Cinnamon?
And but with JonTron, he actually has like a full set that he actually interacts with, and it's well shot. The camera looks nice. The special effects are great. He goes above and beyond, so to where it's like a Red Letter Media vibe to it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he deviates enough from the norm to where that style, even though he does that style that I don't like, I like it because of JonTron. I like JonTron himself.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite jokes is just him when he reviewed Cool as Ice, where he does the parody of Vanilla Ice getting into that woman's room and putting ice in her mouth. He breaks through, in his parody, he breaks through the girl's like window, throws a bucket of ice all over her. He's like, "Wake up, bitch! We're going to Disneyland!"
The thing that made me I don't even know why, but two things that made me a JonTron fan, because I never thought I would be a JonTron fan, based off certain things, and that he's very video game oriented.
Yeah.
But the two things are his cover of Firework is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And in his Christmas with the Cranks, the Tim Allen Christmas movie with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
His interview, his on the street interview with people where he lives was just fucking hilarious. The guy who just starts singing. I don't know. I want to see his what is it? What are they called? Starcade?
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing that too.
Yeah, those are great. Although the story and the premise often gets lost from the beginning of the series and the end of the series, which I hear there's a lot of production problems where they wanted one thing but he wanted another thing, and it didn't turn out like fully what it was originally envisioned it to be.
The Disney bootlegs episode is also iconic.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
My god!
Let's see.
Simba fucking hangs himself. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Sci-Fi Dragon says, "Question: What do you think of the Mortal Kombat game Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon? Never played any of them."
Oh, yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there was a tokusatsu ambulance just or fire truck or something just passed by.
That is true.
Andres' house.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Next thing you're gonna hear, dun 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 dun. Let's see.
Just look out your window right now and tell me if there's a man in a hard hat waving at people and pointing for them to run a certain way, because then you're in trouble.
Yep, that's. I see them. They're wearing the hard
Well,
hats.
shit.
He's got his white gloves on. Yep.
This was the third and last episode of Audio Synchronicity.
Let's see. Crooked Lore question: when will we get the Drake Lazul porn parody? You can't use Augustine and Bell for it. I will not hang into your coattails
God,
any longer.
Andres, how could you screw that up?
Well, you see, I can't do a porn parody because usually that's the job of someone else, right? That's how these things sort of work. So unless someone's got the talent to do it,
Ball's in your court, Crooked.
literally.
Ooh.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum.
Wah.
Let's see. Crooked says, how come Bell acts younger than Augustine? Storytelling! Okay. I will not say anything that
Can't argue with that.
I cannot say anything that would upset the working relationship we have between us. Let's see. And Shoma says, I have no clown friends, only a harem of cute mime gals.
Damn it, Enshoma. Well, you don't know what I'm talking about, Andres. But Enshoma knows that he does have his waifu, who was a comedic actor in the 1930s. However, when Enshoma researched her, she turned out to be one of the first openly lesbian actors in Hollywood. So Enshoma can't get a break anymore, guys.
Bum 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 bum. Ba-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Let's see. Manda says, question, have you read any of the books from the Meg series by Steve Alton? No, I haven't. Have you?
Nope.
Okay, let's see. Crooked says, what's more adorable and deadly, Chibi Azul, Belle, or Brayton? I would say Brayton.
Yay!
He's got a deadly amount of sass to him.
I do. I'm a very sassy man. Brayton Connor, a very sassy man. I don't know if I'm sassy. Am I sassy? I don't know. I'm just loud.
Only when you're angry and frustrated and flustered.
I get flustered very often.
Let's see.
Especially when my hair's. That's the thing. Out of
fucking shit. Stay this way, damn it.
See, that's the thing that irritates me the most, even though I fucked up editing a little bit in the G-Fest videos. But the one thing I hate the most is my hair was always having a mind of its own throughout those videos, and that really irks me, man. I'm wearing a wig next year. My hairs will not be out of place.
Now, Brayton, you cannot do hair.
Well, I know he can't. Well, when he does, it's woo! Oh
God. Anyway, Joe says, Andres, to answer your question, yes. I've interacted with you via Skype at least 3 or 4 times. How could you forget the Dream Cream and the squid mating videos? And I plan to make return to Skype. Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. My apologies, Joe.
How could you forget those things, Andres?
How can I forget Pierre's Dream Cream? Just a dream, a wonderful dream.
Ooh, this is bringing back bad memories.
Well, you see, there's some sites for kids and some sites for adults. Let's check out the sites for adults now.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. This meat's spoiled. This ain't a dream. It's a fucking nightmare. Help me, man.
Don't ask to meet my dad. Please don't ask me to.
Pierre just wants your dad's phone number, Brayton. Let's see. Does your father have?
Does my father have a phone?
No.
Yes.
Does he have a beautiful mustache? At least beautiful in the eyes of Pierre.
No.
Pierre. I'm sure Pierre would be disappointed. In case you don't know, Pierre is a character from Tim and Eric's. What's that show? Tim and Eric's show. Great job. Special thing.
Show.
The Tim and Eric show. Great job.
I don't know.
Anyways, Graphenic Rex says, question. Yeah. I meant to say pardon from Ultraman. Why is my phone not working for me, or is it just me? I don't know what pardon from Ultraman is. Pardon.
You said this
Pardon,
3 times.
Pardon. I don't know what pardon from Ultraman means. You mean Pandon? Oh,
I think that's what. Let's assume that's what he means.
Yeah, because I think he's got autocorrect on, which is turning Pandon into Pardon. Pardon. Let's see. Crooked Lore. Okay, so and Shoma's directly asking Crooked Lore, can I draw the Dracozola hentai? Guest starring Miss Blue, huh? I mean Miss Blow. I mean Miss Blue. Andres then kills and Shoma and Crooked Lore from the chat with deadly lasers. Oh, I wish. Question: from Graphenixsaurus? What's your thought on the Godzilla manga anyway? They look cool, and I like the direction the small directions and deviations they make with the stories. Although the art kind of gets weird as it goes along. Like by the time it reaches Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the proportions on the Godzilla and the monsters look really weird. Where they have very skinny, elongated stomachs and necks, and arms, but their like chest and hips are like super exaggerated. It's kind of weird. Let's see. Question: what are some current animated shows that you thought were good at first but went downhill as they continued on? Sword Art Online.
Tell us more about Sword Art Online, Andres. Tell me more about it.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Tell me more. Does he look like a bitch?
I know. I've seen that before. There is a video out there. I think it was called like "Why Sword Art is Terrible." I think it was called "Your Mother's Basement." It's like an anime channel. I
think I know everything I need to know about this now. My mother's basement.
It's just called Mother's Basement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it's called Mother's Basement. He's made several videos on Sword Art Online, and there's another person called let's see it's like a very famous one where as soon as this person made his negative review of Sword Art Online, a lot of people came on saying, yeah, I would have to agree with you. It is not as good as we all initially thought it would be. Let's see, who was that person who did that review? Maybe if I put Sword. Let's see. No, let me do it. Sword Art Online review, and I'm sure I'll find the person who did the review of it. Let's see. Why can't I find that review? Oh well, but there was one individual who did like a really long deconstruction of the series. Digibro, that was the name of the guy. Digibro, he did the one that made that big Sword Art Online review. I remember him because he did a video talking about like why advertising in anime is so prevalent and the importance of having to support anime instead of streaming it for free online and being able to support the series as much as you can if you want to see the Japanese animation business continue. But yeah, he did a video called Your Anime Sucks, a parody of Your Movie Sucks, and he talks about Sword Art Online. So I never even finished the anime. I just stopped after the second half of season 1, like after they got out of the game, and then I guess afterwards they get into a new game, but I never saw that because I really hated the direction they were going with after like the first episode or two. But yeah, but even then, as much as I liked the first half of season 1, there were a lot of problems, especially with the main character being overpowered and being surrounded by a bunch of girls who all want to fuck him, instead of having any sort of deep or interesting characters. And if you do have an interesting relationship between the main character and the main female protagonist, only to separate them for the second half of the season and make the main female protagonist into a damsel in distress. Oh yeah, and there's some weird love triangle incest thing going on, which I'm like, nope. Let's see. Question: what happened? What Godzilla crossover would more likely to happen? Evangelion, I guess, because with all the crazy products they've made. Although I'm not sure, really. I don't know, because Godzilla has crossed over officially with Evangelion Gundam, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman, especially through that soccer game. And it's crossover, not directly, but it has crossover in that video game, City Shrouded in Shadows. So I guess any one of those properties could work. What's your favorite Super Robot Wars game? The one I've played with it the most, which would have to be MX for the PSP, or at least the PSP version of Super Robot Wars MX. That's the one I've gotten the furthest in. I have several of them, but because again RPGs take a lot of time, and I just haven't had the time to invest in them, and the fact that they're all in Japanese, so they're more difficult to play through because there's a lot of reading. I have played a lot of the Android game, Super Robot Wars Omega Cross Omega, and that's fun for like a mobile game. That's kind of like half Super Robot Wars game, half tower defense. That's pretty fun. It's the only one that has the Power Rangers Megazord or the Jew Ranger robot, so that was cool. Let's see, and there's Mechagodzilla and Godzilla in it. I guess that's technically a crossover, Godzilla and Super Robot Wars. Unfortunately, those kind of special characters are a limited time only, and so I couldn't get I got the game after it was that promotion was already finished. Let's see. Inshoma says her name is Patsy Kelly, Connor, man.
That's right. The only thing in Shoma I can remember about her is she just keeps yelling, "Mr. Stevens, Mr. Stevens," and that's about it in Shoma. Sorry. You wanna listen to that all day? I mean, come on.
And Crooked says, "Damn it, Brayton, you sassy ass bitch."
You're goddamn right.
Question: favorite angel from Evangelion? Maybe the ocean one that fought Eva Unit 2. I always like water-based kaiju. I forgot its name. Yep. You there, Brayton?
Yep.
Okay. For a minute there, you kind of glitched out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Which one was that? The name of that angel? Gagiel. Or Gagiel. But yeah, it's like a giant serpent. I'll share an image with Brayton right now. I'm sure everyone kind of knows what that is, but I'll share a link down there as well. Here you go. Gagiel or Gagiel.
Ooh, he's cool.
He's actually, yeah, he's probably one of the biggest angels, to my recollection. Let's see. Joe says, "Hey, Brayton, does your dad cook?"
No, he does not.
Let's see. Crooked says, question: does it also upset you that I will not be able to do a Christmas special where Bell kidnaps you and the rest of the sons of Serizawa? Not you, Brayton.
Well, thank God I'm not kidnapped.
I don't know what story you had in mind, Crooked, but I guess I'm good that doesn't happen. He also says, I think we should start a London-based street gang and call ourselves the Aggressive Dandies.
I think so. I mean, I'd be up for that. I am an aggressive dandy person.
Let's see. Luke says, what would be the name of the prawn proudy for Draco Azul? I don't know what a prawn proudy is, Luke, but I guess you mean porn parody, and at which point I'd say, the choice is yours. Like from Captain Planet, the power is yours.
Call it Big Blue Robot or something. Yes. I don't know. Yeah.
A Triple X parody. Or like those like uncreative titles. This ain't Draco's Duel.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Let's see. Inchoma says, Andres and Brayton, worst movie you've ever seen.
The Creeping Terror.
I think it would be way too easy to say Birdemic, but it just fails on all levels. Yeah. I have heard about this one movie called what's it called? After Last Season, and I've seen Ralph the Movie Maker's review of it, and it's like, holy shit! Why did someone thought this was good? So. Anyone who has never heard of After Last Season, actually, I think all of it is available on YouTube right now, and you can see Ralph the Movie Maker's review called "The Worst Movie Ever Made After Last Season." It's like, holy shit! Like at least with with Birdemic, it's like this thing was made by an incompetent buffoon who had no idea what to do with like a zero budget movie. But with this person, it's like he did had the money, but he spent it all in the wrong ways. Let's see. Question. I was thinking about how Metabots became popular in Japan, but not in America, and Gamera's the opposite. Why is that? I think he meant to say, why is that? Could be a very interesting video topic. It would be if I knew more about Metabots, but unfortunately I don't, and all I know is that Metabots continues to have new games year after year on the DS and 3DS. But, yeah, that's the only relevancy I've seen is through the games. And I guess there's the PSP also has their version of Metabots, where it's like characters building little model kits and making them fight each other. I think it was called like let's see. I bought the first game. I haven't played it, but I bought it because it looked interesting. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Excuse me for a minute. Just gonna get that game off my shelf. But yeah, it seems to be like while Nintendo has the Metabot games, the Sony and the PSP and PS Vita try to do their own thing with their own like Sony-owned Metabots. Here we go. It is Danboru Senki. Danboru Senki. At least that's the name of the first game in the series. But yeah, I can't really find any information online about this game series on the PSP. All I can assume is that both Metabots and Danboru Senki tried to do what Custom Robo originally did, I think. And that's a weird thing that Custom Robo was Nintendo's, like, Metabots, and it's, like, older and, I think, more popular than either series. So I'm not sure why Nintendo didn't bother continuing, or capitalizing on this with Custom Robo. But I suppose they're, like, after Custom Robo for the DS, they thought, fuck it, let's just let Metabots do their whole, children battling with robots thing, and have that be the robot franchise for our DS and 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And as for why it's more popular than Gamera, well, I guess those are two very different things, because nowadays most people don't watch Gamera or Godzilla outside the new shit, and Gamera doesn't have any new shit, so that's why it's not popular. Metabots
you could count on one hand what probably what isn't more popular than Gamera.
Yeah. Let's see. What is your favorite of the Showa Ultraman shows? I've only seen 2, but a part of me likes Ultraman more than Ultra 7. I just like monsters more than alien invaders.
Yeah. Serious answer, Ultraman. Not serious answer, Ultraman 2, the anime that Inshoma has shown me. It is awful. He fights a fucking tornado at one point. he fought the one I watched the other night. He fought a cloud that turned into what the hell? And the Science Patrol stand-in for the dubs at least are absolutely hilarious. It's a ridiculous thing, Andres. Have you seen it?
Is it the one with 3 Ultramen, or is it the one with one Ultraman with a blue star on his forehead?
Yeah, it's the one with the star on his forehead. Just
okay,
one.
I've only seen a clip of that where he fights Balton.
Oh, it's really stupid, Andres. it's really bad, but it's hilarious. And it was picked up apparently in the same way that Sandy Frank used to pick up old or Japanese anime cartoons and stuff. But the guy who picked this up's name is Tom Wiener, and I don't know. I'm an immature idiot, but I find that hilarious too.
Beautiful.
And he's credited a lot at the end of an episode. So this show has a lot of Wiener all over it, and I don't know. So I love it.
Let's see. So Crooked says, question, which is better, Rift Tracks or MST3K? I think I like MST3K more just simply because there's more production to it and you have some very nice, endearing characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm if we're talking original Mystery Science Theater and Rift Tracks, MST3K. If we're talking new Mystery Science Theater and Rift Tracks, with the reason I think the original MST3K is better is obviously because of the characters and there's something charming.
The comedians at play.
Yeah, and the silhouettes. Like if you lose the silhouettes and it's just disembodied voices, it just I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's a whole thing anymore.
Yeah.
Other than just a movie with some commentary, and I like the skits and the characters, but not really a fan of the new season. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have much charm to it, but
yeah.
Let's
see. And Choma says, "Can we let the ghost of John Pertwee, the actor who played the Third Doctor from Doctor Who, be the leader of the aggressive dandies?"
No.
Let's see. Amanda says, "Question: What movie is your guilty pleasure? For me, it would be Dragon Wars. For me, it's probably Godzilla vs. Megalon." Oh no! It's The Spirit. Frank Miller's The Spirit. The story is stupid as fuck, but I love it visually.
Yeah.
I love its visuals.
I love its visually too, Andres.
Sorry, it's. I haven't had anything to eat all day.
Guilty pleasure Godzilla wise, Final Wars, guilty pleasure period. I really like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, that's good.
I do.
I enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also like Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crooked says, question: Would the Draco porn parody involve giant robot sex or a gender bend Draco Azul? I'm asking for a friend. P.S. You're welcome, Brayton.
God.
Sure you are, Crooked. Let's see. Graphenixor says, question: thoughts on Monster Hunter? Thoughts on Pokemon? Love Pokemon, never played Monster Hunter, but it's ridiculously huge in Japan. In fact, like when you're going through the game section, you would see like your like RPG section, your action survival section, your simulator section, your romance dating simulator section. Monster Hunter has its own section because there's so many fucking games.
Jeez.
Let's see. Thumbs up for Ultraman 2. Thanks for mentioning that, Brayton.
You're welcome. It deserves mention.
Let's see. I guess you haven't played either Monster Hunter or Pokemon?
No, I know of Pokemon, but I haven't played this Monster Hunter that is sweeping the nation by storm.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Question: I believe that if I go outside at night, will I be attacked by futuristic robo-Nazis from the past? That's reasonable, right? I don't see how it can not be reasonable.
No, that's I'm sorry, that's completely unreasonable. If you go outside at night, you will be attacked by futuristic robo-Nazis from the future, Crooked Lore. That's what you said is just ridiculous.
Ah, I see. Question: Could a Godzilla anime work like Godzilla series, or am I wishing too much? It can work. You know, anything could work, really, if you put your mind.
It could work!
It could work! It's like thunder strikes. Question: Have you seen the anime movie Steam Boy? I've seen the trailer many times on Sony's DVDs, but I never watched the movie itself.
Me neither.
Let's see. Amanda, I would like a Godzilla anime series as well, just as long as it's done by Madhouse or Sunrise. Oh yeah, they'd be very good. Let's see. Yeah, so now we finally reached the end of all these questions, and we are at the half-hour mark. So we've been at this for about I want to say an hour and a half. We started at 11, so that's on my end, 11, 12, 1. So 2.5 hours. So we've definitely reached the end of our the end of this show, because I certainly don't want to make it really long, because God knows, like, I don't want to do what MJ Knight does whenever I'm on his Sunday Night Live live streams. Like, they're fun and all, but it's like a marathon having to do like a 6-hour, 7-hour live stream. But then again, it's kind of like what you and I do, you, Patrick, and I do every Sunday for me, Saturday for you, but where it's just us talking for that that amount of time. Yeah, see, our conversations aren't for public consumption, so there's a lot of us just having like 2-minute silences between each thing we say. Right, whereas with a live stream, you have to keep going and you have to keep entertaining the audience. But yeah, that's just crazy. But yeah, we've managed to have like a height of 16 people, and we still have 8 people watching. So I think tonight was another great outing for Audio Synchronicity. So I want to say thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and thank you very much for submitting all of your questions. Hope you've enjoyed the show, our crazy stories, and if you have any stories you would like to share with us, you can share them in the comments below once this show is all said and done, or you can go onto the Facebook group, not the Facebook group, but the Sons of Sarazawa Network homepage, the SOS Network homepage, where you can go and make suggestions for weird stories you would like Brayton and I to cover if we cannot find any stories of our own. But given how crazy the world is, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to make fun of along the way. So anyways, where can people find you, Brayton?
You can find me at Brayton Connor at YouTube. You can find me at Brayton Connor on Facebook. You can, well, I prefer you not find me there. You can find me at Brayton RL Connor on Snapchat. I really prefer you don't find me there. But you can find me here every month for Audio Synchronicity Live with Andres Perez and me.
Absolutely. And you can check out my upcoming review for Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters. I recorded the audio right before doing this show, so once this is done, I'm going to go get breakfast, or late lunch sort of deal, and then go to editing the video. Hope you enjoyed. I did like half scripted, half notes reading, half rambliness. Hope you enjoyed. I hope that'll be okay for you guys. It's been a while since I've done an unscripted video all by myself, and I really do not do good with those. But still, I hope you enjoy my not fully scripted, little slightly off non-scripted review for Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters. In the meantime, you can check out all my other videos. You can check me out on Zazabar's channel, and you can look forward to my comic book of Draco Azul, the big blue robot you always see as my mascot. Things are currently going underway. It's currently the second page is just fully finished and colored by my colorist Ed Peary. You may know him as a Transformers artist from the UK Transformers conventions like Auto Assembly. And let's see, and be sure to check out Tyler Souls. He's the main artist for my comic, and you can check out his page at Tyler Souls Art. Be sure to send him a couple commissions his way. I'm sure he would appreciate it all the more. Let's see, anything else other than that? Oh yeah, be sure to check out D-Man 1954's channel. He's going to do he's going to make a video talking about my comic, and you'll be seeing some previews of the finished inks for the first couple pages of the Draco Azul comic, so look forward to that. Anyways, it's been fun as always, guys, and thank you for supporting me through all this time, and we hope that you'll continue to enjoy our content as in the near future. So until next time, everybody, I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir,
with Brayton Connor,
and your audio has been synchronized.